Yo, what's happening, y'all? Give me 1 sec here. I gotta adjust the cameras. They're not centered correctly. So give me 1 sec. But what's going on, man?
Oh no. Well, in the meantime, what's happening, everybody?
There we go. We're good.
Good?
Yep.
Cool. Officially welcome to week 7. As always,
it's surprising that we're already here and we're already expecting DeAndre Hopkins to be back. Like, it's this year's going fast. This fantasy season is going fast.
This is what always happens. We wait and we wait and we wait, and then the season flies by. I mean, we're approaching halfway.
Yeah, I mean, we're already in the thick of things with bye weeks and everything like that, and yeah, we're getting all the suspended players back, all the injured players. You know, the rumblings are they're going to be back soon, if not already back. So, yeah.
Well, I heard last night on the broadcast before I turned the game off after the third quarter because it was too boring to watch.
Dude, I never want to see Russell Wilson Denver Broncos primetime game again.
But Joe Buck said, like, one of Russ's best plays on the young season. And I was like, it's not the young season anymore. We can confirm that Russ has sucked so far.
Yesterday, in the last 2 quarters of the game, plus overtime, do you know what his stat line was?
I stopped paying attention to the game. So.
3 for, I believe, 11.
Yeah,
15 yards. No scores, obviously.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. And there's been, I feel like this season, outside of a couple of teams and a handful of games, there has been a lot of poor play on offense. The Broncos, of course, are the low-hanging fruit because they've had so much primetime exposure. But offenses are typically down right now. Like, offenses that you would expect to be good have, for the most part, not been at the very least consistent, and a lot of them have been subpar. So
yeah, I mean, you can go down the list. The Saints dealing with injuries, they haven't been what we wanted them to be with Michael Thomas, Olave, and Jameis. Cardinals haven't been what we wanted them to be even without DeAndre Hopkins. Ravens have struggled to a certain extent. Like the high-powered offenses,
the Rams
have struggled to a certain extent, but then you have teams like the Lions and the Seahawks, right, that are overachieving.
Great. Atlanta is running the ball great right now.
Then the Packers, they're losing every game they're in, but the Giants are winning every game. They're like, it's like, what?
Yeah, this is an upside-down NFL season so far. So if you are 1-5, don't be upset. Blame it being a weird football year.
It has been one of the weirder ones.
It's truly been strange. It's truly been strange. And there's going to be people who say who are going to come at us, or anybody who says that and be like, it's like that every year. It's like the proof is in the pudding. Offensive numbers across the board are down.
You do not expect a second-year Najee Harris to be RB42 on the season through 6 weeks. Like, the season's been weird in like multiple ways. Not only are certain teams not scoring, certain fantasy players have completely regressed from what they showed us last season.
Yeah.
Prime example is Najee.
Yep. Lots of weirdness this NFL season, but as always, we're happy to talk through it with all you fine people. And as always, continue to talk through things, talk shop as we unfold a new week and figure out what we need to do this week to get some wins.
Yeah, I mean, we're approaching the time where if you have been losing out consistently, you really need to make a change now to save your season. I mean, this is really dare I say, the last week to right the ship. Unfortunately, I hope you guys got a good point. Maybe
week 8.
They did elongate the season and all that. So,
yeah,
yes.
like 2 more weeks, and then it's like if you still only have 1 win or 2 wins, then it's like okay.
Well, unfortunately, like last week was a great week to be searching the waiver wire for somebody to come in and help your team the rest of the way. This week is not.
This week's a barren
This
wasteland.
is not a very good week to be searching the waiver wire for somebody who's going to come in and fix your team.
Nope. And that's okay, but that is something that's somewhat normal, right? You're going to have weeks throughout the season where it's like there's nothing that you can conceivably rely on. But yeah, last week there were lots of interesting ads. This week, at least right now, not so much. Who's
headlining the ads this week for you?
I mean, Dulcich, if you're thin at tight end, like
everybody is.
Right, I guess. Latavius Murray might have taken the job last night from Melvin Gordon.
Now in deeper leagues, Latavius he was picked up last week. But yeah, I mean nobody outside of, maybe, 5% of the population thought that Latavius Murray was going to come in and completely be the RB1.
Yeah.
I think it changes week to week. So I'm not even sold that Latavius Murray is a huge winner this week.
I'm not even confident in that one.
Kenyon Drake?
Kenyon Drake, Claypool maybe if he's available.
I mean, that was kind of like a 1 week thing.
Kind of fluky.
He did it with Mitchell Trubisky half the game, so I'm not willing to buy into Chase Claypool. Wan'Dale, absolutely.
Wan'Dale Robinson, I'll say, because they were clearly using some patchwork guys. No disrespect to the likes of David Sills and Richie James, but that's what, they were they were stopgaps because the Giants were desperate to start the season because Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney were and continue to give them nothing. And Rondale Robinson probably, like most rookies, probably needed a little more time to be able to be like, oh, I can actually go out there and run, 50% of the route tree. So he's interesting moving forward because there's nobody else in this Giants passing game who is.
No, I mean, outside of Daniel Bellinger and Saquon Barkley, that is it.
Yeah.
And Bellinger in his own right, if you miss out on a Greg Dulcich or something, he is somebody that you can go in. You can confidently at this point, I think, if you are hurting at the tight end position, invest in as a dart throw, touchdown or bust option at this point.
I guess I'd put, as far as tight end options, I'll go Tonyan 1, Bellinger 2, Dulcich 3.
I would agree. I still want Tonyan over all of them. Better quarterback situation, but I want Bellinger over Dulcich.
I think I want Bellinger over Dulcich, and dare I say it's because of quarterback play?
It's because of quarterback play. I mean, I have an interesting article here on the Denver Broncos and their tight end situation. And it's specifically about Albert O because he was such a sure thing. Like, I was just like, yes, invest in Albert O. He's going to be all right.
Highly touted.
Yeah. And the issue is he can't run block. And because of that, he is shoehorned into passing down situations. And then when he's out on the field, the opposing defense knows that it's a passing down situation, so they prepare adequately and then shut it down. Whereas some of these other tight end options, Eric Siebert, who's been filling in, played the majority of tight end snaps over the first 6 games, and now Greg Dulcich, that is the reason they're running away with it. It's not that Alberto is a bad pass catcher. It's that he can't run block, and that is a large part of playing the tight end position for apparently the Denver Broncos in 2022.
Yep.
But for that reason, also is the reason why I'm not investing in Greg Dulcich.
Yeah.
Because Eric Siebert is going to continue. Yeah, Eric Siebert is going to continue to have a role. Alberto, while his role is small, will continue to have a role. And then you're looking at Greg Dulcich, a 50% snap share at best rookie. I'm not investing in that. On a bad offense?
Yeah. He scored last night, so it was exciting, but it
on
kind
3
of was
receptions.
A broken play. It was kind of a broken play.
On 3 targets, 2 receptions.
Yeah.
He played 70-something% of snaps.
No, Tunyon and then Bellinger, and then Dulcich.
Yes.
I'll throw one more name out there, and then we can get into some questions.
Absolutely.
Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, if you're desperate for a wide receiver, the Bills are off this week. The Eagles are off this week. Some of the offenses that have actually produced, the Vikings are off this week. So you're talking about some heavy hitters as far as some wide receivers who are on bye this week. So if you need a fill-in, I mean, DPJ, 4 for 74 last week, led the team in receiving yards. Worth a flyer. I don't know if I think the Browns are playing the Bengals. So division games can be weird, right? We've seen that happen time and again. Baltimore, on the road in Baltimore. Different story, because Baltimore's getting shredded by everybody through the air.
Yes, they are.
So, and DPJ has put up some very usable flex or wide receiver the past 3 weeks. 4 for 74, 4 for 50, 5 for 71. I mean, you could do worse. He plays 80% of the snaps. So
my wide receiver dart throw at the waiver wire position before we get into the questions and comments that are filling up in the chat right now.
Yep.
Somebody that we talked about briefly right before the start of the year. Tyquan Thornton. He's healthy. Week 5, 42% of the snaps, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 7 yards. Okay, whatever. Week 6, 57% of snaps, so considerably more snaps, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 37 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 rush attempts, over 5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. That is Cordarrelle Patterson usage. Cordarrelle Patterson on the Falcons gets a little bit more reception work.
Sure.
But I mean, that is low end Cordarrelle Patterson usage for a 22-year-old second round pick who runs a 4.28, which is just about faster than everybody else in the NFL. So they're going to continue to use him in this manner, on the ground, through the air, versatile. They need playmakers.
Yeah, they do.
So I think Tyquan Thornton might be a deep roster, deep league, viable dart throw.
Yeah, I mean, after Jacoby Myers, it's pretty much a crapshoot.
Rumor is it that Kendrick Bourne is on the on the outs. Teams are inquiring about him, so there could be some more targets open in this offense pretty soon. Mac Jones should be coming back at some point, Bailey Zappi has played great, but
he's playing really well through a couple of games.
Yeah, he is. Respect. I got to give respect where it's due. Bailey Zappi is...
Yeah.
He looked better than Mac Jones early in the year.
300 yards.
Yeah.
Had a turnover. Did lose a fumble, but I don't think he got sacked.
No.
He's playing well.
Very efficient. But let's get to this chat, y'all. Thanks for letting us ramble on a little bit for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the stream, just about what happened over the last week and some more developments as the season goes on. But Elout, P. Diddy, Quinn, Rojo, Durko, Ignatius, Pennyfeather. What's happening, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
Pratham, Anthony Garcia, Fabian, good to have y'all in here. Let's get to this chat. Chat.
Let's do it.
P. Diddy, would you guys trade a 23 mid-first for Pitts? I think he's kind of sus. Absolutely, dude. If you can get Pitts in what looks to be a dynasty league, because you're dealing with firsts and 20, all that, if you can get Pitts for 1 first.
After he scored, on a weekend after he scored.
You do it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude's 21 years old. Already has an 1,000-yard season as a tight end at 21.
Yeah. And this could be a rough year for him.
It's going to be a rough year.
Make no mistake.
He's not going to finish as a top 12 option.
he might finish his top 12 just because that's not hard at the tight end position, but it will be tight. It will be close. And a lot of that has to do with just their current offense, the current makeup of the Falcons offense. They threw the ball 14 times on Sunday.
Yeah.
And if they're going to continue to win games, and they're clearly, look, we have to keep this in mind when it comes to the NFL. Organizations can want to tank. Fans can want their team to tank. The coaches and players are never going to tank.
They're playing for their jobs, dude. They're playing for their livelihood, their families.
Right. They're in a way that you can't quite compare to any other league. To any other league, you can't quite compare. So if this allows the Falcons to continue to win games at a 6, 7, 8 win pace for the season, they're going to do it, which means Desmond Ritter's not going to get in there, and they're not going to screw around and try different things. They're going to do what works to help them win games in 2022. And what the Falcons are doing to win games in 2022 is running the ball 35 times, which means Pitts and Drake London are both going to be difficult guys to trust on a week-to-week basis.
And
but for Dynasty, if you can get Pitts for a 2023 first, one of them, I'm doing it, and I'm not looking back.
And Cordell Patterson isn't playing right now. So, yeah, Kyle Pitts is getting more work.
Yeah.
We always speculated that Marcus Mariota was going to be bad for this offense, and we thought he was going to be bad for everybody but Pitts based off of what he had done in Tennessee with Delanie Walker, who just retired. And
Did he?
He just retired today.
Dang, I got to pour one out for Delanie Walker. Shout out Delanie Walker.
He was great. He was great.
Rock solid NFL career.
Yeah, a couple of years in there where he was a top 5 option. He was with Mariota.
Right. Shout out Delanie Walker. Hell of a career.
But we thought Kyle Pitts that offense would look a little bit more like the Tennessee Titans offense from 2016, 2017 when Delanie Walker was their number 1 wide receiver, de facto number 1 wide receiver.
Guilty.
Not the case. 33% target share for Drake London through 5 weeks. I don't know what it has been over the past few. Probably changed because no Cordell Patterson. But I don't think it's going to get much better for Kyle Pitts. So, but bottom line is, yeah, you trade a 23 first to get Kyle Pitts on your squad, dude.
Yup.
Quinn Lenardi.
Yeah.
No, I was just...
We're moving on.
Yeah. Aaron Jones or Swift?
Swift. I know
Aaron Jones has been very good over the past few weeks, but I think you go right back to Swift as soon as he's healthy.
I love Aaron Jones. That offense is not playing well right now, and
Jamal Williams ain't A.J. Dillon.
No.
So.
But Aaron Jones, the past 3 of the past 4 weeks, and honestly, only 2 weeks so far, has gone over 100 yards rushing. He's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. Both were in week 2. Both were in the same game. So he's not scoring on a bad offense, and he's not catching the ball the way I thought he would. I think he's only averaging about 20 yards receiving a game. This past week against the Jets at home in a cold weather game, he bottomed out, 19 rushing yards. What's that? I don't trust this Packers offense. I love Aaron Jones. I mean, DeAndre Swift, it's very limited. It's incredibly limited, but he's averaging 8.6 yards per carry. 8.6 limited opportunities, but he's averaging 8.6 yards per carry. Seemingly healthy coming out of the bye week. They need him. They're going to go back to him in a big way.
Yeah, remember what he did against Philadelphia. Pretty good run defense. 144 yards and a touchdown.
Smoked him. Yeah, he smoked him.
Yeah.
And he's coming back, and he's going to be a focal point of what they want to do on offense. And let's call a spade a spade. The Lions are playing better on offense right now than the Packers.
No, I mean, the 23-year-old DeAndre Swift versus a 27-year-old Aaron Jones. I know that doesn't quite factor in for redraft sometimes. But Swift is a top 4 option when healthy, and he's healthy now. And Aaron Jones is a top 12 option when healthy, but I'd rather have the top 4 option, and it's that easy.
Yep. I'll take Swift.
Rojo Fish, very good to hear that your dynasty teams are finally humming. Luckily, your rosters are deep. Fumbled a couple of games away, but now that injuries are hitting other teams, my depth is really helping me push my way to the top 3 teams. Hey, man, in redraft, your starters win you leagues. In Dynasty, like I think it's your depth.
Yeah,
you can have the greatest starting roster of all time. As soon as injuries and bye weeks hit, and you have to sit 2 to 3 players on a week-to-week basis, if not more, depth is what wins you, or at least gets you into the playoffs with a strong playoff push.
Yeah. If you have a starting lineup in Dynasty and you're looking at your bench and it's like, this is all crap, you're not a contender. Or you're a fringe contender if your lineup is super strong. But, like, you're fringe. You're not bona fide. So, yeah. There you go.
Durko, good to have you in here.
Yeah.
Rojo, thanks for answering some questions in the chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And thanks for just shouting out Durko, and thanks for tuning in. Like, what, Rojo? Much respect, man. Ignatius, who do I start at the wide receiver 2 spot? You have Kenneth Walker at flex, Amon-Ra or CeeDee Lamb PPR. What's the word on Amon-Ra right now? Is he healthy?
Know. I don't know, but I mean, coming off the bye week, again, anytime a team comes off their bye week, the news is quiet about them, right?
Right.
I mean, he's not on the injury report. He played last, week 5 in the Lions' blowout loss to New England,
and did nothing. Didn't look like himself. Played 32% of snaps.
Yeah, that was coming. That was his first game back from the injury.
Right.
They're playing each other. Play the stud that you drafted high. I mean, look, Amon-Ra's a stud too, but play CeeDee Lamb at home. He just missed a 60-yard touchdown.
And he might be getting Dak back.
He is expected to get Dak back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's CeeDee. They're both very enticing for different reasons, but CeeDee's the guy that you drafted higher and it's not like he's giving you a reason to bench him. This is not a DJ Moore situation. Just would have had a 60-yard touchdown last week against the Eagles had it not been for Cooper Rush throwing up a duck that got picked off. CeeDee was, as an Eagles fan, I could definitively say CeeDee was wide open on that play, and I was sweating it out. But Cooper Rush threw a duck, and it got picked off. So, CeeDee.
Yeah, I'm going to go CeeDee too. With Dak coming back, that's enough for me to give him the edge as the healthy wide receiver on a team that is, even with Dak back, kind of hurting for receiving options right now.
Yeah.
I'm going CeeDee. But I love Amon-Ra, and I am trying to play him this week. Pratham Pusker, what's happening? Do I trade Mike Evans for D-Hop? No. Nope. I'm not there yet.
You could, but I'm not smashing accept on that. The argument for Hopkins is now that unfortunately Marquise Brown is expected to miss extended time. There was a report yesterday that it might be a season-ending injury. Then that got walked back, that he might not be able to return. He might be able to return this year, but we don't know yet. I've not heard anything as far as an update there.
I thought it was 6 weeks. I thought we were looking at a 6-week.
We went from 6 weeks to potentially season-ending to optimism that it's not season-ending.
Okay.
That's the last that I saw. Now, that could mean that DeAndre Hopkins just comes in and starts doing what Hollywood has been doing.
Who is currently the wide receiver 5.
Yeah, so if that, there's your argument to make the move.
Well, the other thing you have to, DeAndre Hopkins, well, I guess, I can't, yeah, never mind. I was going to make the argument that Marquise Brown wasn't there yet last year, but Christian Kirk was. So, point there.
Yeah, but Christian Kirk was. Yeah.
I mean, Mike Evans hasn't done what we wanted him to do through 6 weeks. He hasn't. He has one 20-point plus game, one plus 10-point game, one 10-point game, and then a couple of duds in one game where he didn't play in week 3.
Yeah, and last week, what you were expecting, you were hoping for a smash spot because the Steelers are awful against, and he got 4 targets. So it's not all his fault. But also, yeah, he's not firing the way you were hoping he would fire. And then I guess there's the question, who do you believe in long term? The Bucks with Tom Brady and a bad offensive line, or the Cardinals with Kyler Murray with a bad everything?
At least it looks like Kyler Murray can operate outside of structure. So it doesn't the bad everything isn't quite impacting him as much, or at least his wide receivers as much.
Yeah, it's just the situation. Like, the coach is on thin ice, the offense looks bad, the team as a whole looks bad. I mean, yeah, that's not gonna. I mean, that clearly that hasn't stopped Hollywood Brown from putting up top 5 numbers for the first 6 weeks. I think I'm okay with making that move if you want to. If you're acquiring Hopkins, I think I'm okay.
If you want to, I think Evans. Better days are ahead for Evans.
Yeah, should be.
But I don't think he's going to be what we speculated he was going to be before the season started, which was a top 6 wide receiver. That's not in the range of outcomes for him.
Yeah, CD looks. I had him ahead of CD. That was probably a miss. I had him ahead of Debo. That might have been a miss. Yeah, I had high hopes for Mike Evans for the season, and he could still bounce back on a week-to-week basis, but for the season, he's looking more like maybe a low-end wide receiver 1. And Godwin came back sooner than I thought, so could be more like a top 15 wide receiver instead of a top 8.
My concern is with just trading away Mike Evans. It's not that the return that you're getting in D-Hop isn't very good in its own right, coming in healthy, 6 games in, right. Or 7 games in, ready to hit the ground running. It's that we're selling high on Mike Evans, who can bounce back and start to have a stretch as soon as this week. Week 7, Carolina. Week 8, Baltimore. Week 9, the Rams. Week 10, Seattle. By week 12, Cleveland. Week 13, New Orleans. That's a pretty good wide receiver schedule. Now, New Orleans, maybe not strictly for Mike Evans because of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
But over the next 6 games, 5 games, he should bounce back and reassert himself as a high-end option, which is my issue with getting out from under him right now. But at the I think it's a lateral move. Now, if Hollywood Brown does come back halfway through the year, or, not halfway through the year, but halfway through the rest of the season, then would you rather have DeAndre Hopkins with the Hollywood Brown, with the Rondale, with the Zach Ertz and all that in the playoffs, or would you rather have Mike Evans, who should get back on track for the playoffs? I think Mike Evans will have less competition in the playoffs, and that's looking ahead.
It's kind of a wash for me, I guess, just because you have wide receiver 1 expectations for both.
Okay.
It's kind of just a matter, I think, at this point, of what situation do you believe in a little bit more. For
Fair.
Right now, I guess I'd rather have Hopkins because Hollywood Brown is going to miss at least a month. But that doesn't include the fantasy playoffs.
And yeah, I'm just I'd rather have Mike Evans for now, because I think he bounces back. He's not injured. The issues are kind of out of his control, and he doesn't have somebody coming in, the specter of somebody coming in 6 weeks from now to take work away.
Mm-hmm.
But I will just, as a last comment here, if you need points, if you are 2-4, 1-5, and you need points, you need to turn it around, sure, do it.
Then Hopkins.
Yeah. Then Hopkins, because you don't care about what he's going to do in the playoffs. You just need to get to the playoffs.
You need to get there, yeah. Yep, agreed.
But, if you are 5-1, I'm not making any moves just to make moves.
That's fine.
Anthony Garcia, you have Hurts. Your only worry is tight end, so you still have Waller. Running backs are Kamara, Mixon, Stevenson, Hall. And you picked up Walker last week and traded him for Dallas Goedert. What do you think? I think you could have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
at finding a tight
I
end to trade.
Mixon.
Huh?
I think I would have tried to trade Mixon.
I would have tried to trade Stevenson, because Damian Harris is coming back in about 4 games.
I know, but I keep looking at that fantasy playoff stretch that Mixon has, and it's gross.
Fair. But bottom line is, I think you could have traded one of those wide receivers or one of those running backs, Kenneth Walker included. I wouldn't have done that for a better tight end.
Yeah, Walker looks like he could be a league winner.
Yeah, like if I'm making that deal, I'm trying to get a Zach Ertz. I put ahead of Dallas Goedert. Weirdly enough, that's where we are this year with the tight end position. There are a few tight ends that I'd rather have, obviously, or Kelsey's and Andrews, but then Zach Ertz is right up there ahead of Goddard. So there are options that I would have rather had. But that's not a bad move, because Goddard is still only the tight end 5 on the year. So it's not a bad move. I think you just could have gotten a little more.
Yeah.
But good job for diversifying your squad and I mean, on the whole, getting better. Your only worry was tight end. You filled it with the current tight end 5. It's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
Rojo Fish. Bellinger is on every taxi squad that you have but one, and the one I missed him in, your best friend took him and put him on his taxi squad because you talked about him all during the offseason.
We gotta stop having friends, don't we?
We just gotta. You just gotta not talk about the tight ends that we give you at the beginning of the year to all your friends. Don't be telling them about Bellinger. Tell them about Isaiah Likely.
He looks fine too.
He looked all right.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, not great, not terrible.
But I'm glad that you have him on every taxi squad but one.
You might be able to just elevate him soon.
I took a little bit of what I thought was a hit at the time, traded Davis Mills prior to the season in the Dynasty League for a far future second, 25 second, and Danny Bellinger. And so far, I feel pretty decent about it.
Looking fine.
Because Mills hasn't done anything, and Bellinger looks like a future starter, if not a current starter.
Mills is ripe to be replaced after this year.
Yeah. Yep. You got that one right. Fabian.
Bro, I'm
you could lose to Dustin Hopkins, who was ruled out for...
he's already been ruled out for a month after he blasted, 3 or 4 field goals last night? With a broken hammy.
Hey, man, that's tough.
That is, I mean, hey, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
Sometimes fantasy is a thankless game. Sometimes, it's just like certain circumstances just they play out a certain way, and sometimes sometimes it is your demise, not somebody else's.
Yep. But better luck next week. Better luck next week, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. You take it. You move on. I know. It always feels like it always feels it's like, why do I have the worst luck? It always feels that way, right? It's not actually the case, but I get you. That's one of those situations where it's like, why me, right? So take your time, take a walk, do what you got to do. Some jumping jacks. I don't know. We'll be all right. We'll get through this.
Watch some Denver Broncos reruns.
Only if you want to make yourself more depressed.
Ignatius, Thornton better to have than Jacoby? No. But if I'm looking for another option and I don't have Jacoby and Thornton's out there on the wire, then I'm picking up Thornton. Yeah, but not Jacoby over Thornton. Jacoby still has it was 1 week removed from a 20-point week, playing 80% of snaps, 80+% of snaps off rip every game, has a 13-target game, has an 8-target game, and that's while only playing 2 games this year, or 4 games this year. He missed 2 of them already. So, with a better, or at least more highly thought of pass catcher coming back, or pass thrower coming back into the fold with Mac Jones coming back. I think Jacoby Myers stays very high floor.
Jacoby Myers remains the guy.
Yeah, high floor, very involved, but Thornton is the X factor. I will say that. He's the X factor in this offense that doesn't have a lot of them.
Yeah. I guess I will say we do have to keep in mind with Thornton that there's a good chance that him and Zappy were working a lot together in training camp and practice with the second team, right? So Thornton.
But the fact that he's getting runs, and again, maybe that goes away when Damian Harris is in the fold. But the fact that they're making a point to utilize that 4.28 speed, which is again top 5 in the NFL right now for skill position players. The fact that they're making a point to utilize that in the run game, which is something that we talked about Chase Claypool with early in the year.
Yeah,
we got to give it to Thornton that at least he's being utilized like that, and we like to see that.
Sure.
Scored a touchdown off it last week.
Yeah. But we also have seen certain quarterbacks favor certain players.
Yes.
So just be careful. But yeah, I mean, look at the wide receivers who are on bye this week. So it's worth it to keep an eye. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith are all on bye this week. You can throw Allen Robinson in there as well. I guess he had a good game. That's a lot of wide receiver talent that a lot of people are not going to have week 7. So, yeah, I mean, you might as well take your shots on guys that have big play upside.
Yep, and he does.
Yeah, and he does.
Joe Harris, another Tyquan Thornton question. 12-team PPR, 3 wide receiver setup. How do you guys feel about adding Tyquan Thornton and dropping Nico Collins? DPJ and Claypool also available. Gabe Davis is in my flex, and he's on bye. So
I mentioned DPJ at the top. I think I would actually prefer him over these other guys. And I can't believe I'm saying that with Claypool in there. It's just Claypool feels that could have. I don't want to call it an aberration because we saw him have a good rookie year in totality, but like right now, he's still very hard to trust. I'll say DPJ just because I know he's going to get 80+% of the snaps. I don't know. It would be nice to see Thornton, second round pick, continue to work and maybe get 65% of the snaps. We don't know he's going to get that yet. And we don't know what it's going to look like if Mac Jones is reinserted. If Bailey Zappi is, I'll say surprisingly at this point this week, the quarterback again, then I would say Thornton's got a little bit more intrigue. But if Mac Jones is the Patriots quarterback this week, I might want to wait a week. Whereas at least I know that Jacoby or Brissett and Donovan Peoples-Jones at least have been working together all season long and all through training camp. So, and DPJ's got big playability in his own right. Again, 4 for 74. I would say DPJ, and then if you want to put Thornton over Claypool, I wouldn't argue that too much. I want to believe in Chase Claypool, but it's a little hard to do so on a consistent basis right now.
I mean, Claypool having the boom week he did last week, he's now had at least one game that has been a better game than every game Donovan Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins have both played this year.
Yeah.
And Tyquan Thornton has had a better game than everybody in that list despite only playing in 2 games this year thus far. This is a little bit of a difficult situation. If you want to drop Nico Collins at this point, that's fine for one of these players.
Sure.
DPJ is really only intriguing to me. He hasn't had over a 10-point week all season despite playing 80-something% of snaps in every game except one where he had 78. He hasn't hit above 10 fantasy points yet. Yes, 9 targets week 4, 11 targets week 1. I think that was an aberration. Because they didn't know what they had in, the David Bells and a couple of the other players on their squad. Amari Cooper was brand new. But I don't know how willing I am to trust Donovan Peoples-Jones, but it is the Baltimore Ravens who have been torn up through the air.
Yes.
The opponent is kind of the deciding factor to me here. You can't get much better than going up against the Baltimore Ravens right now. So for that reason, if you need a spot start for this week, I'm okay with it. But if you believe in Chase Claypool, who isn't dealing with 80% snap shares. He's dealing with 90% snap shares and just had a borderline 20-point week and a half PPR. I can't.
And he's a little more proven as
right.
As a
has a wide receiver 24-year, wide receiver 16-year under his belt in a 3-year career, going on 3 years. If you want the veteran option, it's Claypool. If you are willing to roll the dice a little bit, I do think it's DPJ based on the matchup. But I'm not going Tyquan Thornton, and I'm not going Nico Collins.
Nah, I like Nico. That's just a not good situation right now.
No, you can't trust that quarterback.
Nope. You can barely trust Brandon Cooks with him.
Yep.
So.
But I hope that helps, man. If you have any more questions, let us know. Blue Crew, if half-point PPR, need one at the flex position plus a backup. Bateman, Pollard, Eno, Brian Robinson, and Alec Pierce. Which way are you going?
I mean, so start sit help Saturday 6 p.m. Eastern, Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern. I always like to call that out, this early in the week because it is difficult to make some of these calls. Bateman is supposed to be quote unquote nearing a return. I don't know if that's this week. Do you know?
I think it's close. I think it's close for this week.
But that could mean he's held out one more week, so we don't know if Bateman's going to play. They're playing the Browns, which is a good matchup.
Yeah, 1 day ago, John Harbaugh said he's close to return.
That could mean
that's all we know.
That could mean next week, right? They were coy about J.K. Dobbins all off season, and then it's like that guy's impossible to trust right now.
Yeah.
So Blue Crew, I think we got to put a pin in this one, and any questions for start sit that involve guys who are coming off an injury. I like Brian Robinson. I like his potential. The Packers are straight up not playing well right now, so that's not a bad thing to target. Pollard is interesting as well. He's obviously very clearly the best running back in the Cowboys backfield, although Zeke had a good game Sunday night. He always plays well against the Eagles, so it could be just like a matchup trend type of thing at this point. Familiarity type of thing at this point.
I mean, I think you're going Eno right now because James Conner missed another practice, and then it's your choice right now because I'm not playing the Bateman game.
Get hurt? Didn't Eno get hurt?
I thought Eno finished the game. Did Eno get hurt?
He played 87% of the snaps, but he is questionable with a foot injury.
Ah.
Yeah, see, so sorry, I forgot. I didn't mean to just dismiss. No,
it's good to hear that news. I didn't hear that.
If Eno's off the injury report and James Conner doesn't play, then fine.
Then it's him and Brian Robinson for me.
But see, I want to wait on. Let's see what the Wednesday and Thursday practice reports tell us about Bateman. If Bateman is limited, I might want to hold. I might want to hold out on like Bateman and Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
if Bateman's not practicing, then sure you can fire up Eno, but he himself has to get off the injury report.
And that is a Thursday night game, so it's a little bit risky. This is what I'm going to recommend, Blue Crew.
Join our. Have had no scoring since week 2.
Join our Discord. Third link in the description of this video of this live stream. Join our Discord if you haven't joined already, and then we can better assist you with this prior to the Thursday night game with the knowledge that we have. That breaks over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yep.
Until that happens. Honestly, with this selection of players, we can't say definitively because we're waiting on Bateman, we're waiting on Eno, and we can't make it an informed decision for you.
If Eno's in, I guess Eno. If Bateman's out, then
if Eno and Bateman are in and no James Conner, then it's those two.
Those two. But if not, then Brian Robinson. But Pollard's interesting as well.
I like Pollard with Dak back.
Yeah.
More than I like Brian Robinson with what's his name?
Taylor Heineke,
because Carson Wentz is out for the next 6 weeks.
So, kind of gross.
And I mean, we saw last year what breaking a finger will do for your efficiency. Russell Wilson.
It kills you. Yeah. It can derail your season.
Yuck.
Yeah.
But join the Discord. and we'll talk about it over the next few days and give you the best answer, prior to kickoff on Thursday. Iron,
What's
Kenneth
up,
Walker,
Iron?
Skywalker.
Iron's
Kenneth
big
Skywalker.
on Kenny
Yes,
Dubs,
sir.
as you should be. That guy looks like a league winner right now.
110 yards and a touchdown from scrimmage.
Point blank. And Seattle's run blocking unit is currently creating more yards before contact than any other offensive line. Like, giddy up on Kenneth Walker.
And like he's ran through like 6 people on one of those runs. He's like head faking people out of the way. Like he's really shifty.
Big, shifty, 4.38.
You are right. He
speed.
caught, I believe, 2 passes last week.
Yeah.
So you said I wouldn't be surprised to see him catch anywhere from 2 to 3 passes next week, even because we were talking about how
he wasn't utilized in the front in
right,
college.
and people were worried about that coming into the league. Caught 2 passes, looked all right. Yep. Now is he going to be catching 6, 7 passes like some other running backs? Is he going to be catching 10 passes like Aaron Jones?
Like an Eckler? No. But
Eckler, right.
But he'll have he'll have 5 catch games, like maybe 1 or 2, but yeah.
4 to 5.
Kenneth Walker can catch the ball. He can. I think he's a good example of college doesn't always tell the whole story.
And he is, or was touted as the best pure rusher coming into the draft, and that included Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, yeah.
And so he
Walker's
is more,
good.
He is kind of in that discount Nick Chubb realm for me.
Yeah.
He's not a supreme pass catcher, but he's one of the best, most electrifying runners of the football. And that's enough to get him weekly fantasy value.
Yep.
Is he going to be the RB2 through 6 weeks, 7 weeks? No. Or whatever Nick Chubb is. Is he RB1?
I think he is still RB1, even though he had a down week this past week.
But discount Nick Chubb is somebody that I am very happy to have on my fantasy team. So I'm with you, Iron. We both are. Will Schultz get better with Dak? Yeah.
Should.
He was dealing with some health injuries, though. It wasn't just Cooper Rush not looking for him.
I said it all offseason, though, man. And, I know this is me taking... I'm not trying to take a victory lap, but I just was like, Schultz as a late-round pick in 2021, I was all on board. Schultz as a 6th or 7th round pick in 2022, I was all the way off. I just didn't like... Yeah, and yes, you can't predict injuries. I just didn't have a good gut feeling about him.
He's a non-elite athlete who...
I mean, he should be fine,
overachieved.
But I'm not excited about him.
The team franchise tagged him, so that kind of tells you like they weren't able to hammer a deal out. But the fact that they were forced to franchise tag a tight end, like that means the future is up in the air. Like they drafted Jake Ferguson, they have decent tight ends there. I think this is Schultz's last year as a Cowboy. Will he get better with Dak? Yes. But I think we should be only expecting low-end tight end 1 value. Because it's clear the narratives that we were talking about with Schultz aren't there.
Yeah.
The whole Cedric Wilson's gone, Blake Jarwin's gone, Amari Cooper's gone, Schultz is going to get a lot of work. Not the case.
Nope.
Not the case. And that's with Jalen Tolbert literally not seeing the field. So...
Yeah.
And James Robinson hasn't been brought back into the fold. James Washington hasn't been brought back into the fold yet. As soon as that happens, another pass catcher for him to be competing with. So he'll get better. How much better? High-end tight end 2. Expecting anything more will probably be shooting for the moon.
Yep.
Kilo, thank you very much.
Yeah, what's going on, Kilo?
And you sent Herbert and Waddle and Dillon for Lamar Jackson and Michael Pittman.
All right. I'm fine with it. Lamar has look, he didn't have a good game against the Giants, but that seems to that weirdly seems to be a trend playing the Giants these days. Lamar has the rushing upside that Herbert doesn't. Herbert is still very clearly like laboring with that rib injury. I think that's I think that's what's going on with Herbert.
But he's still the quarterback 8.
Yeah, he's he's very good. But Lamar's got the rushing element. Pittman, I guess, feels a bit safer than Waddle right now. Although Waddle had a better game than I think we were having some concerns about. Well, whatever. Teddy Bridgewater got back into the game after Skylar Thompson. He had a finger injury too. I know Tyreek smashed. You were never taking Tyreek out of your lineup, but Waddle himself had a good game. I mean, 6 for 129. So, I mean, yeah.
You're taking that.
Yeah, without a doubt. He did lose a fumble.
I think if you want to move from Herbert to Jackson, Herbert being the quarterback 8, and Jackson literally being the only fantasy option who isn't as good as Josh Allen. Because he's the QB2 and the overall fantasy player number 2 on the season.
That's fine.
You're going to have to give up somebody like Dylan. You are.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a move like this, which is making your top 2 starters, your wide receiver, 2, and your quarterback better, sending Dylan's what you have to do, and selling Dylan at this point right now, considering what he's been doing, I'm okay with, even though I am expecting better from him in the future. Yeah,
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Ooh, Iron. A guy would like to trade Justin Jefferson from you. Players you like on his team are Barkley, Stevenson, and Kenneth Skywalker. Do you think Justin Jefferson for Barkley or JJ or Stevenson and Skywalker would be a good trade?
Is this dynasty or redraft? I know Iron plays them all, so that's
let us know the format. Let us know the.
Let me see if he throws it in.
Yeah,
I know, Iron, you play a lot of Dynasty, so I'm almost inclined to think this is not redraft. If it's Dynasty, I'm not trading Jefferson for any running back. Like, I don't want to trade him.
It doesn't matter what running back it is.
Yeah, I don't, unless I'm getting, like, Barkley and Walker. If I get Barkley and Walker in Dynasty, then fine.
I need all 3.
Yeah.
And I know people are
never gonna happen.
And the owners are gonna balk at that. Like, are you kidding me, dude?
They'll tell you to
but
F off.
Yeah, how old is Justin Jefferson? 22.
23.
And there was we were wondering whether or not it was gonna be Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. It's clear, it's Justin Jefferson, and honestly, right now, it's not close.
That
for
man
me.
Is stupid good
for Dynasty.
And it's redraft. Okay. Who are your other receivers?
Justin Jefferson for Barkley straight up.
Feels kind of dicey.
I'd still want a little more. Justin Jefferson for Stevenson and
ask,
Skywalker straight up, like 2 for 1. I want a little bit more for both of them.
I want Barkley and Walker, and I would be willing to throw in a pot sweetener. That could get it done, but I need Saquon and Walker.
Yeah, Stevenson has.
Stevenson, fine.
I like Stevenson, but 4 weeks and then Damian Harris comes back, and then the waters are muddied for redraft. Those waters aren't being muddied for Barkley or Skywalker. So if you're trading away a bona fide wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year, top 3 wide receiver 1 for the rest of the year, you need bona fide running backs for the rest of the year coming back your way. It cannot be a 4-week option at RB1 before he goes back into RB2 territory.
Yep.
So Barkley and Skywalker, and I too would be willing to throw in a little bit extra on that JJ's side just to get it done.
Yeah, because it's probably not going to... Okay, he has Adams, Gabe, and Curtis Samuel. I mean, okay, so that's a steep drop-off for your wide receiver 3.
Yes.
Because Curtis Samuel is about to potentially become unusable with Taylor Heineke.
And Gabe Davis is better. You're better off with him at your wide receiver 3 than wide receiver 2.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so I need both Saquon and Kenneth Walker. I'll throw one of the last guys on my bench to sweeten the pot.
Now, if it's JJ for Barkley and a wide receiver that we would put in, along the same caliber as a Kenneth Walker, I think about that too. Because you could add Hunt. I don't think you want to just give away all your wide receivers or your best wide receiver for running backs and then leave your wide receivers as left for dead, basically.
Yeah.
Which, like, Adams obviously has been great this year. Gabe obviously has been great this year, but even Gabe is more of a boom-bust option than anything. And Curtis Samuel, you're right, over the next 6 weeks, his value should taper off considerably.
It's gonna fall off, most likely. Yeah. So
I'd almost be trying to
with some things.
I'd almost be trying to get JJ, or I'd be trying to get Barkley plus a wideout for JJ. Then Barkley and Stevenson for JJ.
Yeah.
You love Skywalker. But I think you need to have some depth at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Joe Harris says, great call on Washington defense for week 6.
Oh,
so there you go.
Yeah, nice. Hey, man, honestly, and I'll say this to anybody, start a defense on Thursday night if you're not sure who to play. It could be a defense that sucks. Odds are the game is going to suck. And when the game sucks, the defense usually benefits. Like Thursday night, you could start the Cardinals or the Saints defense. And both are probably available because neither is good. But guess what? Both will probably be fine because it's a Thursday night game with two very mid teams.
Yes.
Yeah. So no problem, Joe. I started Washington myself.
I'd be shooting for the Saints or the Arizona Cardinals because the Saints give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing defenses. So shoot for those Arizona Cardinals.
You can do either one because the Saints might be without Jameis and Andy Dalton, and the Cardinals have Cliff Kingsbury. So you can
almost
start
as much as a handcuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You could just, if you don't have a bona fide clear-cut defense to fire up, just pick up whoever's playing on Thursday. Like, blanket statement, just pick somebody up who's playing on Thursday. A defense. To a lesser extent, kickers, too.
But guys, they want to stream this week. Options are Washington, Miami, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Arizona.
I say less.
Chargers, Colts, Giants, Jets, Chicago.
I don't even need to look at anybody else. Just fire up ride that Thursday night train. If you're like, for me, that is the ultimate equalizer. If you're between a bunch of streaming options on defense, pick the team up who's playing on Thursday night.
Yes.
Home team is probably the most preferred, but again, the Bears are a huge target. I picked up Washington. They had a red zone interception. I think they had like 4 or 5 sacks. That team is not good. That defense stinks, but they played on Thursday, short week, tough turnaround for nearly every team, plus an anemic offense. Like, yeah. Who are the Bears playing this week? That is, I guess, the other equalizer. Who are the
Patriots
Bears playing? They might not be available.
Yeah, I don't think they will be.
But if the Patriots are available, then okay, fine. They're
an option as well. Yep.
They are also an option because they're playing the Bears. Like, Tennessee's defense like the University of Tennessee's defense would be a fine start against the Bears. That's how bad the Bears are.
Agreed.
So Vols.
Cameron B. You currently have a claim open to pick up Jahan Dotson off of waivers to drop KJ Osborne.
That's fine.
But you need a defense. I'm not picking up Jahan Dotson as a priority because of the quarterback that they're dealing with there in Heineke for the next 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. Because of that, I don't want Dotson. Just get the defense.
And I see your other options to drop. Yeah, just drop Osborne for who's Miami playing? Are they playing the Steelers on Sunday night, I think?
Yeah, yep.
Which, that's a target. I would say, Cameron, again, I'll go through my tirade that I just went through. Is Arizona available? Are the Patriots available? Like, either pick up the defense who's playing on Thursday night or pick up whoever's playing the Bears. And if neither are available, you could go to Miami because they're playing Pittsburgh. They're playing Mitchell Trubisky. Is that game in Miami? Actually, I'm not sure. They're less of it is in Miami. Okay. Yeah, you could do them. You could do Miami, but I would first check to see if Arizona, New Orleans, or New England are available. I don't care. Either team on Thursday night, take your pick. Either one should be fine. And the Patriots, because they're playing the Bears. Those would be my first three. And Osborne is safe to drop. Don't worry about Dotson, especially with Taylor Heineke for the next month or so. The only guy in that receiving game who is like maybe sort of kind of reliable, only because last year he hyper-targeted him, is Terry McLaurin. But even then, he's still a wide receiver like 3 right now.
I'm not even going there. I would be willing to say that Curtis Samuel has the highest floor just because of the versatile positions that he does play. Rushing and passing, I think he has a more decent floor. But
I don't trust
honestly, I'm not trying to play anybody from that offense.
Well, yeah.
And a lot of people might just have to, by nature of drafting McLaurin in the 5th or 6th round.
With some fucking bots.
Oh man, is what it is. Is what it is. But get your defense, man, for KJ Osborne. And Elout, you're looking to pick up a quarterback because Hurts has his bye. You're trying to grab Tua off of waivers, but if you can't get him, who would be the person that you would pick?
Who's there? Let us know who's there.
Is Justin Fields there? Or is Daniel Jones there?
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Is Jimmy G there against KC? Should have to light it up or air it out.
Throw Jimmy G out there against the Chiefs. Did somebody drop Dak? Derek Carr. No, I don't actually know.
No, Derek Carr is probably taken, but Jimmy G for sure. Dak if he's available, but I doubt it. If you're worried about Tua,
Goff in a dome might be fine.
Goff in a dome. Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, options. I'm willing to go back to just because he did have his best game of his of the young year. Yeah. Can't really say that at this point now. The year is not young, but he did have his best game of the season last week.
Yeah.
Most pass attempts, most rush attempts. So
I don't feel good. If I'm advocating for people targeting the Bears on defense, it's hard for me to put my weight behind Justin Fields as a pickup.
I'm just saying, if you miss out on Tua and your options are bargain barrel, but Justin Fields is sitting there, he's at least around QB 15.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones is around QB 13. I'd like him more than most. I'd go after Daniel Jones this week too. But basically, for a fill-in for a quarterback, I'm just looking for that rushing upside that is available on the wire.
Yeah.
Bo, should you trade Chase and Hall for Kupp and Kenneth Walker full PPR? No.
I mean, yeah.
Kupp is doing better than Chase right now. And I know what Hall has been doing through 6 weeks, and I know he's about to really turn it on.
It's 4 good players.
But look at what Kenneth Walker just did. So
well, then you would be acquiring. He's acquiring Kenneth Walker.
Oh, for a Kupp.
Trading Chase and Hall.
Upgrade at wide receivers, slight downgrade at running back, but not much. Full PPR means that Brees does get even more of a tick in his.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. I say keep Chase and Hall. Hall has actually put up RB2 weeks or better every week so far this year. The only other 2 running backs to do that are McCaffrey and Saquon, I think.
But it's hard to not want to invest in a player that has, in 3 out of the 6 weeks, gotten to above 20 points a week.
I'll call it a wash, Sibo. It's 2 first-round wide receivers and 2 of the most exciting young running backs in the game. I mean,
I want the Kupp and Kenneth Walker side.
Kupp
is much better than Chase this season. Kupp is much better than Chase, and I love what Hall has been doing, but he does still have to worry about Kenneth Walker. And that offensive line and that offense Michael Carter. And that offense hasn't been as good as the Seattle offense. to your point about the run blocking before contact. Like,
that's a big thing in Kenneth Walker's. That's a big feather in his cap. Yeah.
Right, and we are dealing with the 1 and 2 RBs coming into the year, but like from a rookie perspective. But Chase, our wide receiver 14 right now. Kupp is wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I mean, Kupp's had a couple, by his standards, the past 2 weeks been a bit quieter.
Yeah, but if I'm dealing with a 22-point week and a 13-point week being quieter, like, okay. If those are my quiet weeks,
that's a personal preference. I mean, for me it looks fair. Like, to me it looks even. Like, I want all in some way, shape, or form. I want all 4 of these guys. So like, I don't have a problem if you want to make the move. I don't care if you decide you don't want to make the move. Like, that's honestly, you know, I don't mean to like kind of give a non-answer, but you're talking about 2 studs for 2 studs.
Yeah, you are.
John seems to prefer the Kupp and Kenneth Walker side a little bit more.
Because I think Hall and Kenneth Walker are closer than Chase and Kupp. And I want the Kupp side for redraft in that situation.
All right. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I could go either way. I wouldn't mind having either one of these sides. Personally. I think it's a fair trade where both teams come away with 2 good players. 2 very good players.
In Iron, your running back 1 and running back 2 are Najee and Hunt, so you would need an upgrade there. Got you.
So, yeah.
Well, Mike, can you just trade Najee straight up for Kenneth Walker? Like,
there's no way. There's no way that gets done.
Yeah, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But then, I wouldn't be trying to trade away Justin Jefferson. I'd be trying to trade away Curtis Samuel.
I don't know what you're going to get for him right now.
I mean, he's coming off a great stretch, and you might catch somebody sleeping, not looking forward to...
yeah, you could try.
Like, he's the wide receiver 22 right now. Coming off of a 1-point week. Just try to sell that wide receiver 22 price point.
Yeah.
If you can't get that done and trading Justin Jefferson is your only option, then we'll go back to the drawing board. But I'm trying to trade anyone else.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Would you do Gabe Davis for Walker?
Yeah.
Like acquiring Walker?
Yes.
That's a tough trigger for me to pull, but I guess that's why I proposed it.
Look, I like Gabe Davis more than most, and
I think you like Gabe more than Gabe's mom likes him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, honestly,
Mrs. Davis has some competition.
But he is a boomer bust player, and we've seen the 2 past weeks boom weeks.
I think he's just a boom player when he's healthy.
I would love to believe so.
Boom player
I would love to believe so, but nobody is that boom of a player. On the amount of work that he's getting, that 15% snap share, he's already wildly more efficient than the majority of other players with that amount of snap share.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't think he's quite as good as we've seen over the past 2 weeks. I think he's, we've seen 2 ceiling weeks. Prior to that, we saw 2 floor weeks. Yeah, Gabe Davis is a guy where if he doesn't get it done, he's kind of dudding for you. Yeah, well, when he does get it done, it's for 2 touchdowns and 171 yards. Yeah, but when he's not getting it done for you, it's 1 of 3 for 13 yards. It's 3 of 6 for 37 yards. No touchdowns.
He was on the injury report.
Yeah, man, but like I think Kenneth Walker is just as consistent as Gabe Davis from a different position. So if you need to diversify,
you could try.
You're kind of going on a 1-for-1 there and just moving your 20 points at wide receiver to 20 points at running back. So it depends on your team makeup. But that's about as I think that's about as fair a trade as you can get. Gabe Davis for Kenneth Walker.
There you go.
If it doesn't feel good, then that's how you know it's a good deal. Because it hurts a little bit, right?
I guess so.
Daniel, what's happening? Is Pittman a hold or a straight sell high right now? He's a hold. Alec Pierce is the sell high.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're getting. If you can turn him into an RB1, then sure. 13 for 134. We were scared off by him this past week.
No, I was giving him one more week.
Yeah.
I said all last week, I'm giving Pittman one more week, and if he doesn't do it this week, then I'm swerving.
He's a hold for these next 2 weeks because he's playing some cupcake secondaries. And then after that, let's reassess. He's a hold for the next couple of weeks.
He's a hold for me. 99% of snaps back-to-back weeks. He's a hold for me.
You could ask for Saquon.
I don't think
the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you could. But like right now, he's a hold for me.
That's fine.
Kilo, half PPR Dynasty. Would you offer Chase for Higgins, Jamal Williams, Jameson Williams, Javonte Williams, and a 2024 first?
There's a lot of Jay Williams. We'll get back to this, Kilo. Let us know who the Jay Williams is.
And if you are referencing any Williamses, let us know the full name, not even the initial.
Yeah. And this isn't for this is for anybody.
Moores, Rondell, Elijah,
Williams.
We need to know.
Give us the full name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Heinen.
Williams, Robinson, Smith. Yeah.
If CMC and Akers are traded, who has the bigger role, Foreman or Williams? You're talking Kyron Williams, Foreman.
Williams. I guess Foreman, just because Darrell Henderson is there. Yeah. Kyron Williams is going to have an opportunity, but we're not sure what that's going to look like. Kyron Williams looks to potentially have a clearer path to an opportunity right now, just because we know Akers is done in LA. We don't know that McCaffrey is done in Carolina. But if McCaffrey moves, then Foreman has the clearer path because there's no Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, now he's competing with Chuba Hubbard. But
who's not good.
Who historically, hasn't. We haven't been fans of him.
It's because he's not good.
Right.
Sorry, nothing personal, Chuba, but he's not very good.
Yeah, I mean the answer is Foreman.
I guess Foreman, but for right now,
because Akers and Williams don't even really play the same position.
Yeah, today it's Williams, but tomorrow it could be Foreman. If they're both traded, then Foreman.
Because Akers was the first and second down running back for the Rams.
Yeah.
Wasn't Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson was that third.
He was the pass catcher.
He's the pass catcher. Now Darrell Williams has to be that first and second down banger if Kyron Williams is to see workload where he should. So to me, I'm rolling out with Foreman because it just seems a little more straightforward with his opportunities.
Yeah.
Elout traded Njoku for Ertz. Okay. Also got a trade open right now where I give Mixon and Waddle for Adams and Dameon Pierce. Okay.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that one. Njoku for Ertz, I'm a little kind of more meh on.
Is that redraft? Because then I'm fine with it.
I think, it's probably redraft.
If it's redraft Elout from Njoku for Ertz, I'm 100% fine with it. And I'm fine with Mixon and Waddle for Adams and Pierce too. So if it's redraft, you won both of them. Good job. Iron, you picked up Dulcich in your Dynasty League last week. He was a free agent. WTF, was checking the free agent IR list and saw him.
Grab him.
Good pickup, bro. Good pickup.
Nice grab. That's a way to keep your eyes peeled on the
now put him on the block right now.
Wire. Yeah, sure. Put him on the block. See if you can turn him into a couple second rounders.
Or if you can just package him with somebody to upgrade elsewhere.
Yeah, sure.
He's the perfect guy, I believe, to do that with.
Of course, the problem is if nobody else identified him, his value might not be very high right now in that league.
Sure.
But
you can at least float it out.
You can always try.
Hi, Mr. Heinen, would you pick up Odell over those guys PPR? No.
Nah. I mean, he's probably going to get signed. He could return. He could get signed by a team in the next few weeks. But then it's like, where is he at with his rehab? How much time does he need to get up to speed? What team does he end up on? Like, if he signs with, the Packers, I guess that's enticing, but that could just be enticing because of the landing spot and, without actually looking at the whole situation, which is that they're not playing well right now. And how does a, 30-year-old Beckham coming off an ACL, how much does he help? Yeah, nah.
I'm not, because if you look at what Odell Beckham did last season, in
he popped off with the Rams.
In 5 of the last 7 games, he scored a touchdown. That's the efficiency that literally only Gabe Davis has. And if you look at the box scores for Odell Beckham, they're not particularly impressive. He just scored a touchdown on the 4 catches and 37 yards, the 5 catches and 39 yards, the 2 catches and 18 yards. He just happened to score a touchdown because the offense was operating at an unstoppable pace, and they had a magical season that he was a part of. But I'm not willing to trust him at this point. Possibly not going to a better situation than he was in last year. Another year removed, picking up an injury, another year older. No, I'm not. I'm letting somebody else pick up OBJ.
Yeah. What's up, John? Thanks for the.
What's going on, John?
Kind words. Does Dak start this week? I mean, he declared he himself said he's going to start. So let's see how he responds in practice. Apparently, he had a good week of workouts last week. He said he should. He said the plan is for him to start this week. So let's see what the Wednesday practice report brings tomorrow. But sounds like he's on his way back, and that's a boost for the Cowboys offense.
Yep. Another Dak question here. JAC, should I trade Hurts and Lockett for Diggs and Dak? Your backup is Geno, and your other wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and Judy. Only reason you're reluctant is you're not a fan of the Cowboys offense or Dak overall.
Yeah. I mean, I want Diggs, and I understand it's a steep drop-off from Hurts to Dak.
But Lockett to Diggs,
that's a huge upgrade at a harder position to fill.
Lockett's been getting it done, man.
Yeah, not this past week, but but weeks 3 and 4.
He was always boom or bust. He was never going to be, 3, 4, but he's
5.
Wide receiver 13 right now.
Yeah. I guess not.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think so. You have Hurts, you have Lockett, you have Geno, which means if Hurts, anything happens to Hurts, you have a stack with Lockett and Geno. Yeah. Keenan Allen, to your point, you just said he's coming back. We expect better days for Mike Evans moving forward. I don't know what to do about Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
So I can see you wanting to get better there.
He's got a Russell Wilson problem.
But the bottom line is, I don't want to give up Hurts.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't want to give up Hurts.
Yeah. And if you're reluctant, I think you're answering your own. Don't, at the end of the day, if you are sitting there hesitating, then don't do it. Right? If you're easily able to talk yourself out of doing something, then don't do it.
And Keenan Allen looks like he's coming back this week, so don't make any knee-jerk reactions to get a wide receiver when a wide receiver is already coming back to your team.
Yeah, and you can fire up Geno this week with Hurts on bye against a not very good Chargers pass defense. They just looked
put
pretty
in
good last night because
Evans, Allen, and Lockett, Geno, bench Judy, and you should be fine.
I think you're fine. Yeah, stay pat.
And Fook, what's happening, man? You just made a move. You traded away Dalvin Cook, Najee, and Curtis Samuel for Chubb and Michael Thomas.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate it. Michael Thomas is hard to trust, but you got rid of two dudes who yeah, I'm fine with this actually. Because you got rid of two dudes who I think are going to be very difficult to trust moving forward in Najee and Curtis Samuel. And Dalvin Cook is a separated shoulder away from, a multi-week absence for a guy who's the top 1 running back right now in Chubb. Thomas is, a wild card. But I think you got the best player in the deal, so I'm fine with it.
Dalvin Cook is the RB11, Najee the RB22, Curtis Samuel the wide receiver 22. So if you can trade, some wide receiver 2s and at this point running back 2s for a top 3, top upside, 2 tight running back and Michael Thomas, who has 2 touchdown upside any given day as soon as he's healthy, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, you got Chubb and Swift now as your 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you're
much
good.
better. Much
you're
better.
Good.
Fabian, on a bye week, you had a trio of Mackenzie, Dubs, and Drake London, and lost by 2 points. Sorry to hear that, man. But with Dubs and London, I feel like they just have to keep being must-starts. Thoughts? Depending on what you have. Like, what are your other options?
It's tough to...
I don't know if they're must-starts, but I think they're flex options for sure.
They're flex options. They're hard to trust on a week-to-week basis. The Falcons don't throw the ball, and the Packers are failing to throw the ball. Throwing the ball. So it's like you said, it's kind of like who are your other options? If it's Drake London or Donovan Peoples-Jones, then fire up Drake London. But these two guys are good players in less than ideal situations.
Yeah, and kind of opposite sides of the spectrum there. Drake London, highly touted talent with a bad quarterback. Dubs, not a highly touted talent with a good quarterback who's just struggling on all accounts.
Just the offense as a whole looks terrible.
Yeah. So depending on the other wide receivers you have, let us know. We'll see.
Yeah. And
but I'm not.
You set yourself as a bye week, so maybe you had, I don't know who was on. Like maybe you have Devontae Adams.
They might be staples of your lineup over the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, while you continue to navigate the bye.
Right.
But I don't think they're must starts.
Yeah.
You watching that Phillies game with Nick or with Will?
I'm working, man. You can come over if you want. But we're going tomorrow. I am playing hooky with work and road tripping down to San Diego for the Phillies game. Giddy up.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. This came together like literally over the past couple of hours.
Even though baseball sucks. Like, have fun.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not my favorite sport by a wide stretch. But when you make the championship series against all odds and you're 2 hours away from the ballpark, you got to go.
All right. I just scrolled down. We are barely halfway through the chat here, so let's start picking it up here. My bad on just talking too long on some of these questions.
Yeah, let's
Richie, thoughts on Sutton trade or hold? Hold.
Depends on what you can get for him.
I think he's the only option.
If I can unload off of this Broncos offense at all, I'm not opposed to it.
But Sutton's the only part that I want.
Yeah, I mean, even he had a quiet game last night. It's Russ, and if Fabian even says if the Russ injury news comes out and it's bad, then maybe Brett Ripien is the way to go at this point. But to that point, I want out on this Broncos offense. There's no way I want a single thing to do with it. We missed a thing about ETN over just above. He had a big game and still had an all right game. I don't think this is his ceiling though.
It's not the ceiling for the offense.
Yeah. I think I think there's still big play potential for him.
He played on 46% of snaps,
10 for 86, caught 2 for. So he got 100 yards from scrimmage back-to-back weeks. I mean,
there's room
all he
for
needed
growth
to
there.
do is score, and then we're talking about an RB 1 week. So keep firing him up.
Yeah, man. I think we're gonna talk about at the end of this year ETN, like we talked about Javonte after last season, split work evenly throughout pretty much the whole season.
Yeah.
And we
ETN's
hope that
fine.
next season is the week where we see free ETN.
But you can continue to fire him up each week this year.
Yeah.
Jonathan Miles, should I trade Hurts for Carr and Jefferson? If you're getting Jefferson, then
Yes.
or for Eckler and
Excuse
Carr.
me.
Oh, holy hell. What do you have depends on where you have a bigger need. Do you have a bigger hole at wide receiver? Then do the Jefferson deal. Do you have a bigger hole at running back? Then do the Eckler deal. Either way, you're getting a bona
Top three
fide
option.
stud
Yeah.
at either running back or wide receiver. I assume this is. I mean, if it's super flex, it's a little harder to trade Hurts. But if it's one quarterback, whatever you have a bigger need at, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And D. Linney, throw your question in the chat. I saw you retracted it.
Yeah.
Throw it in the chat.
He's got a couple. Or
Michael Alexander, drop or hold Schultz.
Who's your other tight end option?
If you drafted him to be your tight end 1 and you don't have any other options, then you hold. But if you have, a Gerald Everett or something like that, then I'm dropping Schultz. Yeah, he's not a must-hold for me. AC Dynasty 1 QB, have Russ and Wentz at quarterback. Should I try to buy T-Law or wait to draft a rookie quarterback in 2023? You have 2023 first and 2023 seconds, along with some depth at other positions.
Are you competing this year? Because obviously Russ and Wentz are not going to get it done for you. If you're competing this year, then sure, try to buy Trevor Lawrence. If you're not competing this year, then just keep throwing Russ out there until the wheels fall off.
Now, buying T-Law, it's probably going to take you a 23 first plus. So keep that in mind. It is really just a question of, are you contending this year or not?
Yeah. And Durko said down below that we missed a question from him. Durko, I don't see anything.
And this happened last week.
We had a couple
there was
people
one
lose-
person in specifics who we didn't
I don't
see
see
their.
it.
Yeah, I don't see your chat up here, Durko. Throw it in the chat again.
Repost. We'll get to it right away.
It looks to be a YouTube issue. We are not skipping by your question. Just throw it in the chat, and we'll get to it as soon as we see it. And Michael Alexander, thoughts on playing Amon-Ra versus the Cowboys? If he's healthy, you play him unless you
fire
have
him
better
up.
options.
Yeah, depends on who your other options are. If you're, there's a lot of good wide receivers on bye this week. So unless you have Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, and I don't know, DeAndre Hopkins or Mike Evans, then yeah, play Amon-Ra.
I would agree. And Randy Miller, should I trade Deontay Johnson for ETN? Running backs are Mixon and Walker. Wide receivers are Evans, Higgins, London, and Thielen.
Yeah. I would do it. I like ETN. I've been a proponent of buying ETN since at least week 3.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Deontay is right now. He's the wide receiver 36.
Yeah, I was a little worried he would be a guy that was worth selling in the offseason and then maybe trying to buy back next year. They're going through a transition year with the quarterback situation. Yeah, you have Evans, you have Higgins. London and Thielen are a little inconsistent at this point, but week to week reliable. And you're adding ETN, who I think can be fired up as an RB2 or a flex like every week this week.
At this point,
year.
At this point, what's the difference between Deontay Johnson and Thielen in terms of what they're giving you box score wise at the end of the day? Not a lot.
Not a ton. So yeah, so get some running back depth that you can rely on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good with it, Randy. Do that deal.
And Pats Bears over under 39.5.
Get that New England defense in your lineups.
Do it. You got some
smash
bots
the
there. And then D. Linney's question here. 12-team half PPR. My running backs are Pierce Etienne, Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds, Eno Benjamin, and Darrell Henderson. Drop Edmonds or Henderson. Hendy has a terrible schedule, and Edmonds is very good. I drop Eno, but he might get the start week 7. Can you not put Eno Benjamin in your IR or something like that? First off. Or that's what I meant. Sorry. I was looking at Eno and meant Damian Harris.
IR. 4 bench.
No IR.
No IR. Damn.
I hate. Yeah, I'm just seeing that. You need to talk to your commissioner about that.
Yeah, fix that. I would not drop Henderson just because he's got a prime opportunity right now. If anything, if you're worried, sell Henderson and maybe even Eno and see if you can get like. You're not going to get a Kenneth Walker type, but like, I don't know. See what you can get. Hell, see if that package is enough for, like, Jonathan Taylor.
I would be going straight to the James Conner owner and saying, hey, I'll give you Eno and Edmonds.
Yeah. Or even, Henderson probably has a little bit more standing power right now.
I think I want to hold Henderson.
I hear that, but, like, what the hell
is
is
your RB3 right now, because you can't count on Harris.
If you... It's 4, I'll be like, I'm probably hanging up the phone.
You cut out. What did you say?
I said if you come at me with I'll give you Eno and Edmonds for something, I'm probably hanging up the phone. Like why would I want Chase Edmonds for anything?
Well, you wouldn't. The prize there for the James Conner owner would be Eno.
Yeah.
Edmonds is the throw-in. And then D. Linney is saying Edmonds is very good. If you're saying, D. Linney, that Edmonds is very good, there might be a chance that somebody else out there might be thinking Edmonds is very good.
I guess. What did he do this past week? Don't think I heard from him. Oh, cool. He did nothing. 2 for 3, and he caught 2 balls for 28 yards. Yeah, Edmonds is a cut. If you can't swing a deal like where
drop Edmonds.
Henderson and Eno for a better running back. If you can't make that happen,
I'm not even saying better running back. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I am. Better
pick that up back to improve, and then you still have Pierce, Etienne, Henderson, and Harris.
I would offer Eno and Henderson for a better running back. Edmonds has no value.
But then you just have a drop candidate just on your squad chilling. So
yeah, so cut Edmonds.
I would just cut Edmonds. I don't. Would you then still try to make a deal, Eno and Henderson for?
See if you can. Throw those two and a wide
Henderson
receiver
for Kenneth Walker.
Might not. Shoot. After missing 2 weeks, I don't know where the Jonathan Taylor's owner's head's at. You could try that. Screw it.
No, dude.
You could try.
If you're saying you're not going to get anything for Eno and Edmonds, you're definitely not getting Jonathan Taylor for Eno and Henderson.
Well, Henderson's better than Edmonds. No debate.
Yeah, but you're talking about Jonathan Taylor. Let's move on.
Just saying.
Now we're just talking.
Try.
This team I'm working hard on because it's 2-4. So yeah, you gotta try to make
Edmonds
some moves here.
Edmonds is a drop.
Yeah, drop Edmonds. Wide receivers: CD, AJ Brown, DK Pickens, and TE Pitts. Yeah, it's a good squad, bro. Like, drop Edmonds.
Hasn't all fired all at once.
Yeah.
2-4 sucks, but it's you're not dead yet.
No.
You're maybe 2 games behind a playoff spot. Maybe. In all likelihood, you're 1 game back. So, just keep grinding.
And Jay Judah, who are some wide receivers you would package Lazard and Pickens for? Excuse me. Just Mike Evans.
Sure, Evans. Yeah. That's the first. Yeah, Evans.
Get one of those projected wide receiver 1s who have been performing like wide receiver 2s.
Yeah.
If you can get an Amon-Ra St. Brown because he's been hurt. If you can get a you can buy into a DeAndre Hopkins because we haven't seen him yet. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
Tim Shields, good to see you, man. Denzel Barrett, are you still starting Carr or Wilson quarterbacks?
Neither.
I mean, hopefully you have a better option, but some people out there don't.
Is that Russ or is that Zach? Like, yeah. Who is that? Hopefully it's...
Yeah, same. Like,
I guess it's Carr.
I'm not starting Russell.
Carr,
I don't feel good about starting Russ. I don't feel good about starting Wilson.
Yeah.
Or Zach Wilson.
And real quick, just so we don't forget about Durko. I'm sorry, Durko. I don't see your specific question. I see you posted your lineup. I don't think it's in here. I think it's a YouTube issue. So if you could repost the question, we will prioritize it. But I don't see I see your lineup: Hall, Ramondre Dobbins, all that. I don't see your specific question. Let us know.
Yeah, and I know YouTube sometimes. And yo, Rico, thank you very much for the super. Yeah. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Rico.
Got offered JT for Debo and ETN, and then he changed his mind.
Good. Let him change his mind. I'm not giving up anything. I'm not giving anything close to what Jonathan Taylor's current value is.
No. Which is why I'm saying, why are you Henderson and Eno for
Because I'm not
JT?
offering anything. Because I'm not offering anything close to what he would normally cost. Therefore, I'm not acquiring him for anything close to what you would. I'm not paying a premium for JT. I'm not offering a premium for JT. That's why I'm set.
But then you're not getting JT. It's JT.
Then I'm not getting him. Then I'm not getting him. I'm not dealing with a guy who hasn't fired since week 1 and is dealing with injury. If it was just poor performance, that would be one thing. But he's also hurt. You can't possibly ask a premium for Jonathan Taylor right now, nor should you send one. No shot.
I just don't think a lowball offer, even considering what Jonathan Taylor owners have been through 6 weeks now, is getting it done.
Then let them keep him.
Okay, that's my point. I'm letting him keep him. I'm not even entertaining getting him.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get him.
That's fine.
Okay.
You never know what a frustrated person is thinking about somebody who was limited practice all 3 days in a row last week, and then ruled out in a what the fuck moment for Jonathan Taylor.
I'm willing to say that.
What's that?
I'm usually willing to say that. Like, you don't know what you can get for a person.
You don't know.
But the guy was the 101 for the vast majority of people.
Yeah, and
so you're still not getting him. So why are you trying to?
Because where would you draft him today?
We're arguing amongst ourselves and not getting anywhere for the listeners.
I think Rico, you're fine. I think that's fine. I would not acquire JT for the price he would normally cost, and I'm not I'm not acquiring him for what the asking price is. If somebody is still asking for a premium package for JT, you hang up the phone.
There you go.
Appreciate it, super.
Absolutely. D. Linney, Jay Judah, he's helping you out.
Yeah, there we go.
So thank you, D. Linney. We like those options as well. Tim Shields, you lost 108.32 to 107.22.
I'm sorry.
Those decimal point losses, man, they hurt. It was Herbert versus the Broncos kicker. Herbert threw that pick, and your defense got me -4. Oh, man, that sucks.
That's awful.
To lose it on one play like that.
It's a thankless game, man.
Better luck next week, and we'll help you get there. Denzel Barrett, Hunter Henry, or Will Dissly, tight end? I mean, neither, but I'm going back to Will Dissly over Bailey Zappi's #1 tight end. Like,
is Bellinger out there?
I'd rather Bellinger over both of those guys.
Tunyon now? Maybe Tunyon's taken, but is Tunyon out there? Is Bellinger out there? Yeah, those will be my first 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to invest in those.
And if they're not, then
options.
I guess Hunter Henry. I don't feel great about it though.
Yeah, I mean, even it's Hayden Hurst.
He might not be available.
But at that point, yeah, after Hayden Hurst, after Robert Tunyon, then Danny B, and see where it goes.
And then Hunter Henry.
I'm saying, and then Will Dissly, and then Hunter Henry.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to put neither one of those guys in. I guess Dissly just because
Hunter had the week. He had the touchdown, but
Disley had a down week this past week, but he's been a little bit more reliable 2 weeks in a row prior to this one. I guess Disley, but yeah, Tunyon, Bellinger, any one of those, if any one of them, those two first.
And yeah, Fabian.
Yeah,
Kenneth Walker looks like a guy.
Yeah,
he looks like a guy. So
if I'm Seattle, there's no way I'm re-signing Rashad Penny.
Why
would I waste my time? Why would I waste?
Why did they waste their time last year if they knew that they were picking up a guy like Walker in the draft?
Because I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did know.
But yeah, Walker looks like an absolute stud.
He looks like a stud.
We were speculating that Rashad Penny would go elsewhere this past offseason, but there were no takers, and he ended up just getting the best deal he could from the team that he's been with. That's why I think the same thing is just going to happen again. He's not going to have much of a market. He's been with Seattle. Seattle knows him. He's performed well at times under Seattle. They're just going to end up getting a deal done in the third wave of free agency in 2023. But as far as 2022, Kenneth Walker looks like a low-end RB1 candidate. Delaney Hall has a tough stretch of matchups coming up, but has an awesome playoff schedule. Walker has a harder rest of season schedule. So that was that trade that we were talking about there up top.
Yeah. No, it's a good little nugget of information.
Yep.
And I'm going Wandale rest of season over Curtis easily. And this was somebody who was pounding the table for Curtis Samuel all off season. I mean, Wandale's just got a better opportunity. If Wentz
was healthy, then I'd continue with Curtis Samuel, but
he's not.
Nope.
And to your point earlier, finger injuries can and do derail seasons for quarterbacks. We've seen it happen, not to just to Russell Wilson last year, but a couple of years ago with Drew Brees, it happened before he retired. So, there's no Washington pass catcher that I can put a whole lot of weight behind. So Wandale, opportunity and a healthy quarterback.
And for the first 3 weeks of the year for Curtis Samuel, he was great. 15 points, 19 points, 9 points. But he was getting 4 attempts, 1 attempt, 3 attempts on the ground, as well as 11 attempts, 11 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets through the air. The last 3 weeks, 7, 8, and 5 were the target allotments. No rushes on the ground. Now Brian Robinson's back. You can't trust Curtis Samuel anymore. Mm-hmm. You literally can't. I'd be looking elsewhere pretty much in most cases. In 80% of cases, I'm trying to find somebody else to play other than Curtis Samuel. So Wandale for sure. Well, Brown wants to sell high on Gabe Davis. You're wrong. Derek 2. Is Gerald Everett, Michael Pittman, and Adam Thielen for Leonard Fournette and Robert Woods good when you can play Gerald Everett as your backup, you can pick up Gesicki and have lots of good wide receivers?
I mean, if you need a running back, you're talking about, Fournette is, looking good recently. So sure. If you're getting Fournette and you have lots of good receivers and you can stomach losing Pittman and Thielen, then sure.
You're also losing Everett and saying you're good with Mike Gesicki. I'm not good with Mike Gesicki. Much rather have Everett. But depending on your running back core, it might be worth it if you just need that RB1 to put you over the top.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting much from Robert Woods.
Okay, we got Derko's question finally. Trade. Right. Let me see. Okay, I think I got it. We're piecing it together. Trade Saquon Higgins and a 23 first. Acquire Chase, Javonte, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. I'm going to assume those are in 2023 since they weren't specified. No. I would not do that deal, Derko. If I'm competing this year, then you have the pieces that you need. And if you're not competing, then I'm not trading a 23 first.
Yeah, if I have Higgins, I'm content that I have Higgins. I'm not trying to upgrade that to Chase.
And I have Saquon. Yeah, I'm not doing that deal. No, I would say no, Durko.
Higgins and Chase are very close.
Yeah.
Closer this year than they were last year. Yeah, and I'm not giving up on Barkley just to get Javonte and then losing draft capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Sorry you're having issues, Durko. I know that can be frustrating.
I went and
I'm not sure what
you
the
can
issue
click
is.
up top in YouTube for what we see. There's top chat and then live chat. And I had it on top chat and it says some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Switched it to live chat, says all messages are visible, and I still don't see
Weird.
your earlier messages, so it's got to just be a YouTube hiccup. Sorry about that. Not something that we have control over, but obviously not something that we're not trying to ignore you. So thanks for throwing your questions in there. If that happens to anybody else, let us know. Don't be shy about it, and we'll get it addressed.
Yup.
Yeah. D. Lenny, sneaky tight end, is Juwan Johnson this week versus Arizona, 32nd ranked against tight ends. Troutman is out, who is splitting snaps and targets. No Michael Thomas. He is.
Yeah, I guess I thought the
but
same thing about
who's
like
their quarterback?
Who's what?
The Saints.
Oh, it's going to be Taysom Hill, I think.
Ugh.
I think it's going to be Taysom Hill.
That's the reason I don't want Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
But I like the narrative you're running with. I just don't like the quarterback that he's going to be having to deal with on a play-to-play basis. But I like where your head's at. Will, yes, do it.
Yeah, do the trade. Add a more in there for good measure.
Cameron B, because of the buys, you have to put Amari Cooper at wide receiver 1 and Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver 2. Do you think Ayuk could have another big week?
Sure.
Yeah, man. I was high on him last week. I think I recommended we play him in a couple of the start-sits streams that we had. I know he had bad weeks prior to last week, but yeah, man. What?
He fired this week.
Yeah, I think you firing him back up.
I mean, yeah, going against the Chiefs. I mean, anytime you have a guy going against the Chiefs, you can start him based off of shootout potential. Even if it's not a shootout, the team is going to come in feeling like they have to keep pace with the Chiefs' offense. Yeah, you're fine. I think he should. Yeah, he's going to be just fine. Maybe not a 2-touchdown game, but you can fire him up again. No,
but I mean, he got to 11 targets last week.
Yeah.
He was being hyper targeted, so you
go
can
back to that well.
You can go back to that well for the next 2 games before the bye. And honestly, when they open it back up against the Chargers, I'm willing to go right back to Brandon Ayuk if I have to.
Yep.
So, yep. Lincoln was here. He traded Brian Robinson for Darren Waller and Thielen. It is dynasty. That's a win, dude, and half tight end premium.
And now you're starting Kelsey and Andrews and Waller.
Well, that's crazy.
That's a little nuts.
Maybe you don't need to start Waller, but Kelsey and Andrews for sure. I mean, I'd turn around and try to make another deal. If Waller is my 3rd tight end and I have Thielen, I know you traded Brian Robinson. I like that deal. But I would turn right around and try to trade Darren Waller to the most tight end needy team out there.
Sure.
And D. Lenny, we agree. The Patrick Haas, good to see you. You done messed up. What happened, man? Ray, would you trade Fournette for JT?
No.
Yeah, I want Fournette because he's playing.
Yeah, Fournette's healthy. Taylor's got an ankle injury. Maybe this snake bites us in week 10 or week 11 with a healthy Taylor, but if this was a performance thing for Taylor straight up, then yes, I would do the deal. But it's an injury on top of lack of performance. I'm not touching Taylor for what he would normally cost.
I agree with you there. I just also don't think people are giving him away for free. But if you can do that, if I wouldn't do that trade. basically. I wouldn't do that trade. D-Hop, safe start this week. Yeah, man, he's 100% healthy. Playing in an offense where they're missing
Hollywood.
11 targets a game. So, yeah, man, he's very safe. He's about as safe as you can get.
Yeah. Yep. Start him.
KC Royals, if you can get Kenneth Walker, absolutely.
KC, yes. I have nothing else to add. If you can make that trade, I don't know if it's a 49ers homer or what, make the deal. Throw something else in if you have to.
But, yeah, I'm doing that.
Yes, KC Royals. Go. If you can get Walker, do it.
Quinn Math, someone drop Rachaad White. Oh, man, do it.
Maybe don't spend 50.
I am fine with spending 50.
I was going to say maybe 35%. But if you can get him,
we're halfway through the season. Like, if
sure. I mean, I think he still remains one of the best stash running backs, and he has a role right now, even with Leonard Fournette in the fold. So, he's got top 15 upside if anything happens to Fournette for even one game.
And 5 targets, 4 targets, and 4 targets in the last 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm dropping 50 fab on him. I don't care if other owners in the league look at me funny for dropping 50 fab on a backup running back. I want Rachaad White on my squad, and I'm willing to pay 50% of my imaginary money to get him. Okay, I'm doing that.
Spend your Monopoly money.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, he's a great stash.
And, Fabian, thanks for helping out. Durko, sorry that happened again. But, again, you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. Jonathan Miles, RB1 and RB2, Breece Hall and Alvin Kamara. Wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 is Kupp and Kirk. Flex from Ramondre Stevenson. You traded Hill for Higgins and Stevenson.
Oh, so you have Higgins. Okay. So you have Kupp, Higgins, and Stevenson, and he's trying to decide if he's trading Hurts for Eckler and Carr or Jefferson and Carr. You have Kupp and Higgins, so that's pretty good. Hall and Kamara is also...
And Kirk.
Yeah. Kirk had another quiet day. He salvaged it with a touchdown, but I think he had
Hall,
12
Kamara,
receiving yards.
Stevenson. And you could add Eckler.
You could add Eckler or Jefferson by trading Hurts. Eckler's on pace for 115 catches.
Yeah, I think I want Eckler because...
I want Eckler.
Kamara's heating up, but... Yeah, you weren't able to really trust him for the first 4 weeks of the season. Running backs are by
volatility.
Yeah, running backs are just more valuable.
Do the Eckler deal.
Yep.
Because you also have Kupp and Higgins and Kirk. Kirk's. I know he's petering off a little bit.
I'm still fine with him.
It's just he's petered off a little bit the past couple of weeks. That's all.
Yeah.
But do the Eckler deal. Yeah, Jonathan, I would say do the Eckler deal. And Edmonds' schedule is very good. The problem is Edmonds is
Rico, what's going on?
Not reliable.
Yeah.
If you want to hold him, then try to package 2 guys for a 1. Try to do a 2 for 1.
But what good is a guy's schedule if he's not seeing the field?
If he stinks,
That's my problem with saying Edmonds' schedule is very good.
Yeah,
I like where your head's at. You're looking ahead. You're looking at matchups in the playoffs, all that stuff. But if the player isn't seeing the field, it doesn't help you even if he has the best matchup in the world. So just factor that into your equation when you're talking about these things. But I'm fine with cutting Edmonds at this point. Cali Loco. Ryan over Geno this week?
I mean,
no.
Who are the Colts playing?
I'm just not.
Tennessee? Yeah, you could start Ryan over Geno. Tennessee's getting scorched through the air.
All right. I mean,
they're getting crushed through the air. The Tennessee's secondary stinks. Now, it is a division game. And so that could pose a little bit more of an issue. Both options should be fine. Geno's got some rushing upside, so
I'm rolling with Geno. His options in the wider, his options at wideout are elite. We were comparing them to the options in Denver. It's pretty clear that all of Denver's options are poor man's versions of the skill position players of what they have in Seattle right now. I'm going Geno. He's been nothing but reliable. Why would you move away from that for a guy that hasn't and is coming off of one good game?
Yeah. Geno.
Yeah, quarterback 7 on the season. Yes, he had a 12-point game last week, but prior to that, 24. Prior to that, 31. Like, and yeah, I'm going Geno. Going Geno.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I know Mostert is an injury risk. Even if he goes down, I mean, Edmonds has given me no. There's nothing to. There's no reason to believe in him right now.
Yeah. Cali Loco, Gallup or Pickens this week? Flex half PPR?
Pickens. Just because Gallup's still getting his sea legs under him, and Dak is potentially going to need some time to get back into a rhythm of his own. So I'll go. I mean, I know. Well, they're going back to Mitchell Trubisky, who hasn't played for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that was my thing. Because Dak is coming back, and we're back to Trubisky, and it's not Kenny Pickett, who showed good rapport with him and treated him like the number one in the offense. I'm going Gallup, even though I'm not really expecting a high upside output from really either of these guys this week.
Either one, but yeah, okay. I guess Dak boosts Gallup, although there could be some rust to deal with there.
Expect the rust, but I'm still rolling with Gallup.
Sure.
And yeah, man, Tunyon is back, and he continues to have a better snap share every week. I'm fine with rolling with Tunyon as a tight end dart throw weekly.
Yeah.
And Rico, should I work on it again? I know it sounds silly. Where was your other question here? Did we miss a Rico Baptiste question too?
No, or it was the super.
Ah, got you.
I wouldn't work on that.
I wouldn't either.
If you're talking about the tail, I wouldn't work on that, because if that's still the asking price, then I already know my answer is I'm not interested.
And Alexander, who should he drop Khalil Herbert for Wan'Dale Robinson? You have David Montgomery.
No.
I'd rather have the 1-for-1 handcuff to your
you
RB2.
Have the insurance policy. Yeah. Just
right.
Yeah, keep the. I know it's a terrible offense and a gross situation. Keep the insurance policy. Keep Herbert.
And Cali Loco, you offered Brian Robinson and Deion Jackson for Damian Pierce to the JT owner, and he declined it. Well, Deion Jackson picked up an injury.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that. It's not like Deion Jackson came out of last week's game where he looked very good, 100% healthy. That's not the case. I do like that you're shopping Deion to the JT owner. Yeah, honestly, fine. I don't know if you can add, what are you adding to? I think it's an overpay if you add enough to Brian Robinson to get Pierce.
Yeah.
So I'm fine chopping Deion to the JT owner, but I'm shooting for a higher ceiling player. Alexander, who you feel like Fields is against the Pats is not that great.
Don't play Justin Fields ever.
He's still a spot start for me if you have to this week, but
if you want 8 points, then fine. There's no way. He's at the bottom of every quarterback statistic, and some of that is not his fault, but also it's this offensive line is among the worst in the league. This skill position group is among the worst in the league. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's going to be pretty by any means. It's not. But the New England defense isn't what it once was. It's firmly middle of the pack. And Justin Fields had his 2 best games of his year in back-to-back weeks. While huge ceiling games are not in his realm of possibilities, it is looking slightly up for for Justin Fields over the past 2 weeks. So he's at least gotten to last-ditch streamer viability for me. But
he is on the injury report.
Last ditch. I didn't see that.
He is got a questionable tag, although
what's the injury?
I don't see what that is. It's easy to get banged up behind that Bears offensive line.
Yeah. Well, if he's hurt, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, not feeling that one.
The Patrick Haas, you had Hurts, Henderson, Diggs, Jefferson, and A.J. Brown on a bye week, so you panicked and impulsively traded Henderson and Brian Robinson for Damian Harris and Kirk.
It's not bad. We have to remember
Henderson and Damian
Rams.
Harris are pretty even. And Brian Robinson, yes, he was touted as the RB1 for this team. Yes, he came in and stole all of Antonio Gibson's work. What has that meant for him in the box score part of the game?
Well, it's one game.
He scored a touchdown, 17 for 60, one touchdown.
Yeah, in his first game, first.
I think that's fine. Henderson and Brian Robinson for Damian Harris and Kirk. I think you diversified and you're fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I like that deal.
Might not be able to rely on Harris for another couple weeks, but when he comes back, he will go right back to being involved.
I think it's pretty even.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think you're all right.
I don't think anybody won or lost. I just think you diversified or consolidated depending on what side you were on.
Yep.
Rico, you're so done with the Ravens backfield. What do you guys think? Yeah, man, it is a mess.
That's fair. Dobbins can't be trusted. Kenyon Drake's not going to do what he did on a week-to-week basis. Mike Davis exists, I guess.
Is Justice Hill
still out there, or is he hurt? Or yeah. I mean, avoid at all costs. Dobbins had one game that he did well because Josh Allen turned the ball over twice, inside the 20-yard line, and he was able to capitalize on some goal line scores that the Ravens offense themselves were not able to set up. So it's a true fluke. As far as I'm concerned, Dobbins has not done anywhere close to enough this year to warrant being started. 2-touchdown game aside.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was lucky. Yeah, so no. Avoid this Ravens backfield at all costs.
Yeah, we can't even advocate a guy on one of the most run-heavy offenses in the NFL. So, yeah. Cali Loco, thoughts on Huntley and Drake? You need running backs?
Yeah.
Caleb Huntley and Kenyon Drake? I'd go after Kenyon Drake, but I don't feel great about starting him.
No. Swing a trade.
He's an RB4 with upside.
Yeah.
I feel like all the running backs in this offense are RB4s with upside.
Yeah. Swing a trade.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake coming off of an 11.9 yards per carry week. He's not following that up again, especially against the Cleveland Browns, who have a better defense than the Giants.
No, they don't. The Browns are the most overrated defense in the NFL. They gave up another, 30 points to the Patriots, to Bailey Zappi Hour, Zapdos. The Browns defense is wildly overrated, man. All they do is give up points. There's one defense you should not be streaming. The Giants defense is
I guess I got to look into that more.
Giants defense
why
is better.
Cleveland so bad? They got good
individual
players.
As a whole, they stink. They stink.
Interesting. Got to dig deeper into that one.
And Myles Garrett is playing. There's no excuse.
Fabian, I can see you said trade Barkley Higgins in the 23 first and your lineup. Who you trying to trade for? Got you.
Oh, that was the Durko question.
Yep. Thanks for everybody trying to help out Durko. Again, Durko, sorry about that. D. Lenny, don't spend too much fab this week. I agree. We both agree.
Right.
This is not the week to be spending too much fab.
Now,
honestly,
if you have a situation where
I don't even think you have to wake up early after waivers clear. This isn't one of them weeks.
Nah.
I think you can chill and pick up the people that overzealous owners are dropping to pick up scrubs.
Yeah.
And that's your best bet.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to drop a scrub, capitalize 2 days from now.
Yeah.
3 days from now. Rico Baptiste, you regret not getting Walker. You have him in all your other leagues except the big money league. Oh, that's tough. But I'm very glad to hear that you're number one in all your leagues. That is what we like to hear. Wish I was in the same position as you, but hats off, man.
That's awesome.
Aiden Gossett, you're in a 10-team player league, 1-5. Sorry to hear about that. Struggling at running back, and you have some relatively strong depth at wide receiver. Number one on waiver this week. Any advice?
Wide receiver.
Trade your wide receiver.
Trade a wide receiver for a back. There's not really. I mean, you can let us know what running backs are on the wire this week, but there's probably not anybody good. Like if Kenyon Drake is your best option, then
Latavius Murray, Rashad White.
He's probably
Are any of those guys out there?
Swing a trade most likely,
but definitely swing a trade. But also look for one of those three guys listed, and do just pick them up. But try to trade two of your depth wide receivers for a starting running back.
Yeah. I think we're down to Wentworth Scribner.
I just lost mine. There we go. Should I trade Cook, Pierce, Lazard, Dubs for Mixon, Diggs, Montgomery, 12-team half PPR?
Yes. You're getting Diggs? Yes. Yeah. Dalvin Cook, who
I think so, yeah.
Who I'm incredibly worried about rest of season with the shoulder dislocation. Pierce is a nice piece. Lazard and Dubs Lazard is a solid piece.
Somebody's
Dubs
trying to get both of the wide receivers for the Packers.
And you're
that's
getting
just
Mixon and Diggs. Montgomery is whatever for me,
it.
but Mixon and Diggs is enough for me to say yes.
And Montgomery as just like the throw in here is still a very viable piece on a week-to-week basis. So yeah, do it.
Yeah, do that.
I'd rather play Montgomery than Lazard or Dubs most weeks, just because edge running back.
Yep.
Yeah. Do that trade. Good job.
Yes, sir. We're down to Cali. Do we trust Dak this week over Geno or Ryan? Let's see him for a week first. If I can start Geno Smith, I'm probably going to do that.
Yeah, I'm firmly in the start Geno camp. I'm
got
not
rushing upside. He's got deeper collection.
I'm not sitting
receivers.
Him for Ryan. I'm just start Geno if you have him.
Yeah, let's wait a week on Dak.
I wouldn't accept that, Durko.
Yeah.
Wentworth, we got your first comment just as an alert or whatever. You don't need to repeat questions in the chat.
Yeah, we take a while to get to people, but yeah.
Unless you have a situation like Durko where you think your question was just straight skipped over. You don't need to double up on the questions in the chat. But thank you for the question. Fabian, Chase and Higgins put up similar numbers and Barkley over Javonte. We agree.
Yeah.
D. Linney, Fournette faces 4 of the worst run defenses in the next 5 weeks. Has a tough late season schedule. Interesting.
Yeah, let him get him to a rhythm. He's still firing up as an RB1.
Yep.
Even in bad matchups.
Jonathan Miles, what running back would be fair to trade Christian Kirk for?
I would just do that Eckler trade, Jonathan.
I'd rather,
Just do the Eckler trade.
I'm not trying to trade Kirk coming off of now 2 to 3 dud games. Because you are still going to get something for him, but it's not what you would have gotten if you traded him after his first 3 games. And I think his value is somewhere in the middle of where we valued him after 4 weeks and where we value him now. I am just holding him and doing that other trade.
Yep.
And thanks for your patience, Durko. KC Royals, which defense should I go to this week, Miami or Las Vegas?
Arizona or New England or New Orleans.
Miami got Steelers, and Las Vegas got Texans.
I just want to play. I just want to play defenses to play on Thursday night. I'm 2 for my last 2 with Washington and Indianapolis.
But I'm
back to that well.
I'm just looking up the numbers behind things, just in. But I agree with that. Go with whoever's playing on Thursday.
But if none of those guys are options and you want to play the Dolphins against Mitchell Trubisky, that's fine.
I'd be playing Dolphins against Mitchell Trubisky. The Pittsburgh Steelers are giving up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. So out of those options, that's what I would do. But I would also be willing to at least think about the Thursday night option. Griffin Steegman, trade Gabe Davis and Curtis Samuel for T. Higgins.
No. No, that's too much. No, it's too much.
It's close for me.
I'm not doing that. I'm not I'm not giving up Gabe and a piece. I like Higgins, but I also like Gabe. Gabe is not boom bust. He's just boom. Like they're on bye this week. He's gonna score another touchdown next week. You can take it to the bank as long as he's not on the injury report. If Gabe Davis logs full practices all week that week, he's a wide receiver 1.
Oh, well, that's a little much. I won't even go there.
He's
a high-end wide receiver 2.
He's a wide receiver 1.
That is a little bit closer to me because I do think Higgins is the better straight-up wide receiver than Davis. And Curtis Samuel dealing with the quarterback situation that he's going to be dealing with over the next few games. Plus just his diminishing role in the offense over the last 3 weeks. Plus Brian Robinson coming back into the fold. I think Curtis Samuel's value will continue to trend downward. So for me, it's Gabe Davis and a depth player that at this point for Higgins, and that's closer for me. It's really your preference. Preferential thing. Very close deal. D. Linney, Dalton was limited at practice today. You think he plays? Okay.
All right. Fire up the Arizona defense.
Kyle Justice.
I'll go back to this well as many times as I need to.
Do it. Kyle Justice, you have Josh Allen on bye. Streamers available are Ryan, Mariota, Mills, Brissett, Mac Jones. Who do you like?
Of that group, I guess Matt Ryan because of the matchup.
Yeah.
Mariota's. Who are the Falcons playing? Mariota's like sneakily interesting. It's just they don't throw the ball.
And that's why he's not sneakily interesting to me. I'd rather just play it safe.
I mean, past 2 weeks, you want to talk about Justin Fields having a couple good games. Mariota's been probably better.
I haven't been tuning into what Mariota's been doing.
129 passing yards and 2 touchdowns last week, and then 6 for 50 on the ground with another score. So he had a 3-touchdown game. Yeah. He's got on the ground either 50 yards rushing or he's got 50 plus rushing yards or a touchdown scored in 4 of 6 games.
I think I'd still want Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, but then Mariota. I would go Ryan first though because of the matchup.
And KC Royals, if you're getting Tua, it's a good trade.
Yep.
Tim Shields, your RB1 is Kenneth Walker. Trade assets you have are Michael Carter, David Montgomery, Deontay Johnson, Brian Robinson, James Robinson, Eno Benjamin, and Jamison Williams on IR. What could you get in your opinion? I mean, you could package Brian Robinson and...
Well, you don't need a wide receiver. Try Brian Robinson and Deontay for... I don't know.
I'm trying Brian Robinson and like a Jamison Williams for a little bit more of an incremental upgrade It's 3 wide receivers in a flex, so I kind of want to keep Deontay as a very solid swing option, flex option. Kenneth Walker, who you just picked up, is your RB1. Montgomery, I guess, is your RB2. So I'd be trying to, throw Brian Robinson and Jameson Williams just to see if I can get an incremental upgrade on Brian Robinson or something like that. Because you look at your wide receivers with Deontay as your number 4, you're never playing Jameson Williams when he comes back. So trade Jameson Williams and get an upgrade on Brian Robinson or something like that. That's what I would do. Fabian, start DJ Moore or hunt the waiver wires for some guys like Nico Collins or a Saints wide receiver not named Landry and Thomas.
Who are the Panthers playing this week?
No Robbie Anderson.
That means nothing to me. They're playing Tampa.
Just throwing that out there. You're starting anybody else. You're starting somebody else. You're starting somebody else. I'm not starting DJ Moore with PJ Walker. Now, if Sam Darnold is healthy, I'm fine going back to the DJ Moore outside of, over Nico Collins and Traquan Smith and Marquez Callaway.
So then Kareem Hunt is the start.
There is no Kareem Hunt. Start DJ Moore or Hunt the waiver wire.
Oh, I thought it was Hunt.
Yeah, no, it's DJ Moore or Nico Collins or Saints wide receivers not named Landry or Thomas.
All right, I thought you meant Kareem Hunt, not Hunt the waiver wire. In that case, then you have to start DJ Moore.
Man, I'm trying not to. There has to be better options on your waiver wire than Nico Collins and Marquez Callaway.
And if they are the best options, then you have no choice. You have to start.
Yes, but I have to believe there are better options out there. Like Corey Davis, there has to be a better option out there. And if there's not, pardon me, Fabian, I have to think that there have to be some sort of better wide receiver options out there.
Durko, that's not an overpay. Trade Ayuk and Burks for Walker, 100%. If you can get Walker for that, do it.
Yes. D. Lenny, so you're saying you would be situational with when you trade Fournette for JT?
Sure, I'll be situational, but I need to see a healthy Taylor before I want to trade for him. If it was a performance thing, sure. It's an injury as well. So, yeah, you can wait, but you have to wait. You have to wait. We need to see a healthy Jonathan Taylor.
And I just tend to think as soon as Jonathan Taylor's healthy, he's back to not being tradable.
That's fine, but we don't know if he's going to be healthy.
Fair.
We just don't know.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Jonathan, glad you think so. Much appreciated for chilling, man. Quick edit, guys, for Alexander, who Monty is your RB4 right now after Kenneth Walker. You have Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, and Kenneth Walker all above Monty. Okay.
I forgot.
I'm scrolling back up. Herbert for Wandale if you have Monty at RB4.
Nah, still keep Herbert.
I'd rather have Herbert.
Yeah, still keep
The
Herbert.
upside is too great, and Wandale probably isn't going to be starting for you.
Yeah, he's I think he's just better than Montgomery.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But the team doesn't.
Well, it's the Bears.
Yeah, Randall Cobb, D. Lenny is out 3 to 4 weeks, so Tunyon is a very decent play this week.
Fire him up.
Excuse me. D. Lenny, Khalil Herbert now has more yards than Monty's total yards. Interesting stat. Herbert's better than Monty.
Right.
Don't know why the coaching staff has taken so long to see that. Tim Shields, Alec Pierce, or Curtis Samuel? Alec Pierce.
Pierce with no Carson Wentz for Samuel. Pierce.
Alexander, who also, do I trade Olave or Walker for amon-ra? No.
No.
Neither.
No.
Neither.
No. Keep your pieces.
Casey Royals, should you trade Ezekiel Elliott if you can?
And depends on the return.
You did just have a big game, so yeah, I would try to trade him after a big game.
Try to take advantage of that.
And Durko, thanks for chilling.
Yeah, thanks for your patience.
Sad Jay, good to see you. Drop
What's up,
one
Sad
in
Jay?
standard, please. Damian Harris, Brian Robinson, ETN, or Jamal Williams.
None.
I am packaging 2.
Yeah, if you have to make a drop, then trade 2 of them for something else.
And I'm trading Robinson and Williams, even though that leaves you with no second starter. Hopefully you're picking up a second starter with whoever you get from that deal.
Yeah.
The Patrick Oss follow-up part 2. That's why you're so down on giving up 2 running backs after this week. You're going to drop T-Law and Thornton for Rashad White.
Gus Edwards or Kyron Williams. I
need to read the first question again. You had Hurts, Dixon. I think you're fine, man.
Yeah. Buyer's remorse is normal in trades, but I think you made out okay.
Yeah. I think you're all right. D. Linney, top defense streamers this week, helping everybody out. Pats, Miami, Denver, Jets, Packers if available, and you know what Nick's going to say.
And the
played them Arizona Cardinals, played them Saints.
The Thursday night defenses are better than them all. Thursday night defenses are better than them all.
So, Patrick, you're putting this out of order. I'm confused. Your whole roster right now is Hurts, Lawrence, Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, J.K. Dobbins, Khalil Herbert, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Rashad Bateman, Jamison Williams, Tyquan Thornton, Christian Kirk, Zach Ertz. And that's why you're so down on giving up 2 running backs.
Okay, well, yeah, running back is a little weak. You need to wait on Damian Harris. Hunt is incredibly up and down. Dobbins can't be trusted. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, if you're down on it, make another move.
It's always time to make more trades.
You have Diggs, Jefferson, and A.J. Brown. See if you can trade Kirk for a running back, like a Darrell Henderson.
Yeah.
Try that.
Or if you don't, and for everybody out there, this is not for Patrick Haas because he already has Damian Harris, but try to get Damian Harris. For everybody out there in the chat that is hurting at running back, Damian Harris is coming back in a few weeks and will resume splitting work in an offense, getting work. So something to think about. But yeah, Patrick, I think you're fine, but try to make a trade. Jonathan Miles, tight end 1 and 2, Higbee and Everett. You have Michael Thomas and Pickens on the bench for wide receiver. Should you expect them to perform as the season goes on, or try to flip a low-end starting wide receiver to improve your tight end room?
The only improving you can do and feel good about is one of the top 2 guys, which you're not going to do. So just keep rolling with Higbee. You should be fine. I know they're off this week, but you can fire up Everett and go back to Higbee for the rest of the season starting next week. He's the number 2 option in that passing game right now.
Unless you can do something like Higbee, Michael Thomas, and Pickens for one of the top 2 options, you have no choice. Just roll with it. Right.
Yeah. And I know he had a bad game last week, but Higbee's been rock solid all season long. I would, and again, they played the Panthers, who stink, and they had a lead against them pretty much all second half. He wasn't needed. That'll change in the second half of the season. I would just stick with Higbee.
Yep. And Patrick, I hope it works out too. Let us know what you do as far as the trades that you do make. Hopefully that works for you. You are 4-2, and you're in first place, so you have a little bit of leeway. But good luck. And Delaney, I wasn't aware of this. Eckler's on pace to break the record.
Yeah,
wow.
I think he's on pace for 116 and a half. So he's right on it, but yeah.
I don't expect him to do that because Keenan Allen's coming back.
Yeah. Probably. Probably
KC Royals, Arizona is on waivers, so should I do Arizona instead of Miami?
I would. I believe it. Like, the Thursday night trend is real. It doesn't have to be a good defense. Washington was one of the better plays last week, and their defense sucks. Like, it doesn't have to be a good defense. It just has to be a defense playing on Thursday night against a mid offense, and that's what the Saints are without Michael Thomas. I know Chris Olave is coming back, but they'll get sacks and turnovers because it's Thursday night.
And Miami isn't, a game-breaking defense, so they're not a difference maker.
The matchup is good. Look, if you want to play a defense against Mitchell Trubisky, that's fine. I understand that. But Thursday night, Thursday night, you can't say that it's not a great start, because if it's a Thursday night defense, there's a good chance it's a good start.
Yes, sir.
So, I disagree. Arizona's a very good start this week, just like Washington was a very good start last week. But I would never suggest them this week, even against the Packers, who suck right now.
Xavier Dubs, what is Bracken, man? You just traded Hollywood and Duvernay for Godwin and Akers.
Yeah,
so I do that. Hollywood and Duvernay for Godwin, much less Godwin and Akers.
Oh yeah, I think Xavier put this in the Discord a couple days ago, and that's exactly what I said.
Yeah,
like just the fact that you're getting a lottery ticket on top of it in Akers, like, nicely done.
Yeah, I like it. Also, out of Mariota Ryan, porn star Jimmy, Brissett, and Tannehill. Who should I start at full PPR? I mean, Ryan, to me.
Ryan.
It's Ryan to me. Even though I'm not super confident in it. It is Ryan to me. KC Royals, do you think Tua will be back this week? Kirk Cousins is on bye for me.
It sounds like he's tracking to play.
Is he?
Yeah, but I'm not trusting it. Look, if he's in, he has great wide receivers.
He was named the starter for Week 7.
So you can go back. I guess
he was named the starter, so I think that's pretty definitive.
So I guess you can go back to him.
I think you're all right.
Yeah, look, if he's got no injury designation, with those wideouts, yeah, you can start Tua. And against that pass defense, okay, yeah, I am amending my original meh. You can start Tua.
Yep. And Fabian, you're saying that there isn't much on the wire there. Then you have to start more, but you can't feel good about it. D. Linney, Darrell Williams practices in full today, and Eno did not practice today after a limited Monday. Connor's still not practicing. Interesting.
Yeah, see, so it's gross. It's like a whole. I'm avoiding that. I think I'm avoiding that backfield. Unless I have no other option.
Unless it gets a little bit more clear cut, I think I am too.
Yeah, so it says Eno was limited today. But,
we just have to wait until more info comes out.
Yeah, we got to wait until we probably have to wait until Thursday. We honestly probably have to wait until Thursday.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And Fabian, you have Deion Jackson, who you would bench DJ Moore for, but you don't know if he's injured still. Could pick up Robbie Anderson or Reynolds if Chark misses, and or Landry. Is Isaiah McKenzie a drop? It seems like with Shakir around, he's never going to be startable.
That's fair to have.
I would agree with that. Yeah. And to the first question, if Deion Jackson isn't healthy, then you can't.
Yeah.
You can't bench him. Or you can't start him.
Yeah.
So again, we have to wait on that. Can't say definitively. In terms of picking up Robbie Anderson or Chark if he misses time, or Landry, I'm not going down that road.
Nope.
Oliver Miller, start Romeo Doubs or Brandon Cooks. Wow, we're
Cooks. There. Yeah, we're there. But
it's Cooks, but wow, I can't believe we're there.
Yeah, they're playing the Raiders. Nothing scary about that matchup. Doubs, I like Doubs, but this Packers offense, at least Cooks will get a huge target share
against the Raiders, who should make them pass for the majority of the game. D. Linney, Arizona defense has only put up points in away games for what it's worth. Also, DB Jalen Thompson likely out with a hamstring injury. It's still.
Yeah, I mean, so that hurts. But I mean, you're down Michael Thomas.
You're kind of doing the process thing here.
Yeah.
It's you're targeting Thursday because it's an aberration of a game, so you can't really talk about what Arizona's defense has done because you're playing the Thursday night game specifically.
And their home games are against the Chiefs, against the Rams, who weren't even that good that game, and the Eagles, who are one of the better offenses in the NFL. So you're talking about 3 offenses that you have to. That Kansas City is spectacular. The Eagles are rolling. The Rams, week 3, okay, fine. They were playing a little bit better, I guess. This is the New Orleans Saints without the weapons they're going to have. It's a slightly different beast. Or not a beast, I guess is the correct term. Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like, Patrick, you said you just traded Henderson.
He was in that
Got
deal.
you. And you're saying that Hurts could be back Monday. He could, because he was a game time decision last week, and they opted not to play him.
All right.
But he could be back Monday.
You're fine. Then you're fine.
And yeah, D. Lenny, feel comfortable starting up AZ. Xavier Dubs, you have Pittman.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they don't have to be good to be startable on a Thursday night.
And you have Pittman, Xavier, so got the stack there with Matt Ryan. So go with that. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
D. Lenny, Waddle likely to sit, which lowers Tua's ceiling. Yes, it does, but you were never playing Tua this week for a ceiling game anyway.
I mean, he on the injury report? He's not on the injury report, but he got hurt in the game. Waddle did, so yeah.
But regardless, you're starting Tua if you can get Tua.
You can. He's still startable because he has Tyreek and that Pittsburgh defense stinks.
007-ish, drop Garrett Wilson for Wan'Dale Robinson.
I don't think I can.
Not there yet.
I don't think I can do that. I understand, but I don't think I can do that.
Nope. Tim Shields, Miami defense or Jets defense this week?
Just because they're playing the Steelers, I'll say the Dolphins. Who are the Jets playing?
Broncos.
Oh,
that's a matchup.
That's also enticing. Come back to that one, Tim, because if Russell Wilson has to miss, which he's a target at this point anyway, but the backup quarterback, we need to come back to that one. Tentatively, the Dolphins against Pittsburgh with Trubisky, but both should be good options.
KC Royals, what are some good options I could get for trading Ezekiel Elliott?
Depends on what you need.
Yeah, it's entirely need-based, and, there are 10 players I could list off at a couple of different positions. It really depends on your need. And Fabian, thanks for chilling. Oliver Miller, Bellinger, Tunyon. Still Tunyon. He came back to life this past Sunday. And D. Lenny, I would agree. Anybody out there who has Deion Jackson, try to trade him to the JT owner.
Yeah, try.
Even though he's hurt right now, you saw the value that he brought, and if JT just can't stay healthy, then Deion Jackson's going to have value as we move into the second half of the 2022 season. But thank you guys for chilling today. We have gotten to the end of the chat here. Just as a disclaimer to all you members, Nick is not going to be doing his Wednesday night stream. He's going to be doing his stream on Thursday, and I'm taking the Wednesday night slot because Nick wants to make sure that he can pay attention to the
I'm going to be in San Diego.
To the Phillies, right?
I'm going to be in San Diego for the Phillies game. So it developed very quickly, but it's happening. I am road tripping down to San Diego and road tripping right back after the game. So it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be super worth it. Hopefully.
But because of that, I'm chilling with you guys tomorrow night, and then Thursday night, which is typically my night to chill with you guys, Nick is holding it down before the Thursday night stream.
Yep.
And then we're back to
Thursday instead of Wednesday.
Yeah. And then we're back to regularly scheduled programming on the weekend. To anybody out there who would like to get in a stream or two before the Thursday night game, you can join for 99 cents as a practice squad member and pick up 2 extra streams a week with us. That's 8 extra streams a month for the duration of the fantasy season for only 99 cents a month. So something to think about for anybody who is not a member yet and wants to just get some extra FaceTime with us to be able to shoot these questions our way, and we can help you answer your questions and help you get set up for the Week 7 slate. But thank you, everybody, for chilling, and I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. John will see the members Wednesday. I'll see the members Thursday, and we'll see y'all both of us will see y'all for start, sit, help this weekend. Join the Discord if you have any other follow-up questions.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night, everybody.
Peace, y'all.